What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access Training Camp Live Edition on this glorious August the 2nd here on just a beautiful Sunday morning here in Tennessee, a beautiful Sunday morning in Green Bay, Wisconsin. A little windy up there. We got Tim boots on the ground in Green Bay. We'll go to him here in just a second. Just want to kind of get things cranked up here from Matt LaFleur's press conference, kind of set the stage as we get ready to get practice going. And one of the things that broke here was Tom Silverstein tweeted out, cornerback Kamal Haden will practice today. He's coming off the PUP list. That's an amazing comeback for a guy who suffered a gruesome injury tackling Ravens running back Derrick Henry last year. You guys know that was something. It was just absolutely, it was so hard to watch. Kamal Haden was playing some really good football, based off what we've seen throughout camp. And of course, going into the season, I thought he was a player that could make a case to be kind of the next Carrington Valentine, if you will, where you got a guy that's undrafted free agent, or in Carrington's case, a 7th round pick that could work himself up through the depth chart and get some meaningful snaps. It looked like he was on his way to do that when he suffered the injury. So with all that being said, Kamal Haden will practice today. I think that is absolutely great news. Some other news, I know one of the questions, or it was a couple of people were asking, why is Trey Smack not kicking? We now know here, according to Tom Silverstein from Matt LaFleur's press conference, tweeted out, LaFleur said that Trey Smack will attempt field goals for the first time today. And as Tim is boots on the ground, I'm sure he is going, probably not the day to debut this, as obviously it's a very, very windy day in Green Bay. Let's bring Tim in and see. I'm going to unmute. Tim's got it right there. Let's see if we can hear Tim. He's probably shielded from the wind temporarily. Tim, how you doing, bubba?
I'm good, Clay. I'm glad to be out here, man. I made it. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we got you, man. We can hear you. The wind has died down pretty good right there wherever you're at.
Yeah, I'm hiding behind the brick facade here at Ray Nitschke Field, I got to shout out my boy, Joey. Joey stopped me over here on the street, said he listens to the pod. Big shout out to Joey. Got to meet him, one of our listeners. Practice is just about to get started. I don't know if you guys can see inside here a little bit. But I am so fired up to see Trey Smack put his boot on the ball today.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. It's going to be a good day, man. And what we'll do is we'll check in with Tim from time to time. Tim, like listen, I've told him 1,000 times, but you know how Tim is. Don't ruin your practice experience. Don't feel like you've got to put yourself in a position to not enjoy it, right, because of the wind. So I don't want you ducked behind a wall all day, but just check in from time to time, man, and let us know what you got going on, all right?
Absolutely, Clay. Will do.
All right, man. Sounds good, buddy. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you too, guys.
All right. So, like I said, we got Tim out there. We'll bring him in and out. We'll let him hop in and out as he wants to. And appreciate everybody jumping in here. If this is your first time tuning into our training camp coverage, what we got going on here, guys, is basically we're going to be giving you play-by-play, if you will, from practice today. We're going to be giving you all the updates in real time. And we did this for training camp practice 1. It was absolute blast. Got great feedback. So we're going to have a lot of fun today. It's going to be very laid back. I'm going to try to incorporate the chat a little bit. Jacob may jump in here a little later. We'll see. But as of right now, probably be flying solo. So another piece of information outside of the Trey Smack is going to kick today. Nothing like crazy or anything, but Matt LaFleur just kind of giving a little bit more insight on Tucker Kraft. Rod Demovsky tweeted out, Packers coach Matt LaFleur on Tucker Kraft practicing despite not having a new contract. Quote, Tuck just wants to go out and work. I think that's big time of him. LaFleur said Kraft's goal of being full in time for the joint practice with the Cardinals is realistic. So they're still trying to harness Tucker Kraft. I love the fact he doesn't have the contract and he's still willing to go out there. I got to be honest with you guys. To me, this puts pressure on the organization now. As a fan, and that's all I am here, I'm looking at this going, every day that Tucker's out there practicing without a new contract, showing that he's healthy, he's fully recovered from the knee injury, every day he's out there practicing without the new contract, I personally think it looks bad on Brian Gutekunst. I think it looks bad on Russ Ball. I think it looks bad on the organization. Obviously, Matt LaFleur has no say in getting that contract done. This is what I worry about. As a fan of both Tucker Kraft and the organization, if he goes out there and he's practicing and they're playing hardball with this contract and then he gets hurt and all of a sudden the contract's off the table now and he doesn't get paid, it's going to be hard for me not to be upset with the organization. Now, I know there's a portion of the fan base that'll say, well, that's business, Clayton. They're protecting themselves. That's a very well said. That's a great point. But man, oh man, is there another player that deserves that contract more than Tucker Kraft? He's done everything since day one, everything you've asked him to do He's battled his ass off to get back from this injury. He would practice today if the coaching staff and the training staff would let him, right? Full-time practice. So again, man, it's just one of those things that I hope they get the contract done sooner rather than later. We got a little bit of video feed here from Tim. Appreciate you, buddy. And obviously Tim's going to abide by the rules. Anything we're not allowed to show, we're not going to show. Okay. We're going to make sure that we stick strictly to those guidelines that the Packers set. So what do you guys think in the chat? How do y'all feel about what we just said about Tucker Kraft? What I just said about Tucker Kraft? Tim's like, don't put those words in my mouth, buddy. I didn't say that. But Tim, if you can hear me and the wind ain't too bad, how do you feel about what I just said, man, when it comes to Tucker Kraft and the contract? If you don't want to chime in, it's cool. I'll look for the unmute to hit there. But you want to give
I don't know if you can hear me. It's still a little breezy, but you got to respect Tuck Norris, man. This guy just wants to play ball. He loves his team. He loves his role on this team. And I don't think it's about the money for him, at least at this point in his career. I think he's excited to be back. He's off the pup. He's on the practice field, and we're going to go chase Lombardi. That's all that matters.
Yeah, it's definitely all that matters to Tuck. I think it's very well said, man. Again, I'm kind of looking at it like, man, it's going to be tough if he goes out there and sets himself back and doesn't have the new contract. I'm going to throw you on mute there, Tim. Appreciate you, buddy. We both try to mute it at the same time. So let's see what the chat's saying about it in terms of Tucker Kraft and the contract here. Joe Mama in the chat says, just give the man the big boy contract. I completely agree about that, man. Dave C says, got to be mad at the organization if he goes out and blows up, then resets the tight end market too. That's a great point, Dave. Like, to me, he's almost already reset the market based off what he was on pace to do. And the only thing that's kind of holding him back, I think, from giving him that massive contract is we got to see if he's fully healthy from the knee. And that's where you got to I've got to curb myself and my emotions a little bit as a fan to be like, okay, you understand where they're coming from in that regard, right? Like they've got to make sure everything checks out with the knee before the contract extension's done. It's just, that's the tough part about business, man. Tough part about business here with the game of football. Soder in the chat says every day Kraft is out there, the dollar amount of the new contract goes up. I think that's right, man. It's just like with Jordan Love. Remember, we were going, get the deal done, get the deal done. They drug it out. Jared Goff jumps in front of him. He gets a deal. It reset the market a little bit, even though Goff took a fairly, I don't want to say a team-friendly deal, but I think he could have gotten a little bit more if he'd held the Detroit Lions' feet to the fire. But his contract then jumped the number up a little bit more for Jordan Love. Same thing would apply to Tucker Kraft, which I don't know if there's any other tight ends that are set to get a big contract. I know there's already been several that have kind of reset the market, if you will. But yeah. As Coach Lynn says here, they're trying to get the deal done, I'm sure. And see, that's how I wasn't worried about it at all, Coach Lynn. I'm still technically not worried, I guess you could say. But the thing that popped up was, I think it was last week, Adam Schefter reported that the deal wasn't really close. So it's like, okay, now this, me don't like you that, Jan. I don't like to hear that, right? That's kind of tough to hear that firsthand there. So, all right, let's see what else is going on here on Twitter in terms of Packers news. If anybody else is posting any updates here in the last few seconds, looks like Kelly Hallinan posting a video here. We'll throw it up on the screen. As you can see, Josh Jacobs out there, got a huge fan following. Everybody hanging out with Josh Jacobs, getting that autograph. Absolutely love it. If you guys are not following Kelly Hallinan over on X, make sure you go follow her. Does work with Fox Sports, NBC 26, WLFI. So make sure you go give her a follow. So again, Josh Jacobs out there with the fans, not turning down any autographs. Love Josh Jacobs, man. Can't wait to get all that behind us with the quote unquote legal issues, right? Which, as it sits right now, it seems like things are fairly clean on that front. So, all right, let's see what else we got here. If y'all bear with me, we'll continue to comb through and see if any other updates have dropped. Look like people just posting pictures and whatnot. So I think with training camp practice today, what I'm most excited about is I want to continue to see what these receivers do. For me, it's going to be really, really cool to see if Matthew Golden continues to live up to the hype, right? It looks like he's having an awesome camp so far. Christian Watson seems to be on another level. We kind of seen him reach another level last year with the hands improving, coming back from the ACL. And you know, obviously when he came back from the ACL, he had that one scare in Denver, but he didn't miss the next game. And again, that had nothing to do with the knee. That was with the upper chest injury or what have you. So with all that being said, when you kind of look at what Christian Watson did last year after coming back from the ACL, I mean, he was dominant. So now if he puts it all together this year, he can stay healthy for 14, 15 games, give us something like that. I think you're going to have a guy that's got 12 or 1,300 yards receiving. I really believe that, because these defenses are going to have to clamp down on some of this underneath stuff, with Jaden Reed being healthy, Tucker Kraft being healthy and whatnot. So that's the main thing I'm really looking at on offense today. That and any Marshawn Lloyd updates that we can get, obviously, is going to be absolutely huge as well. So let's see what else we got in here. Love it. I love it. Daddy Serell in the house. 99 will shine. This is the thing I love about Barryn Sorrell, and I'm really excited about. Maybe Tim, I'm gonna see if I can bring Tim in here real quick. It may be windy. If it is, I'll let Tim know and we'll mute him. But never mind. Tim is in a hurricane right now. You can see on his screen they've got the sleds there, right? Maybe we'll get a good look at Barryn Sorrell and the guys. The thing I like about Barryn Sorrell, and this might be Barryn Sorrell's pops. This might be is it Barry, I believe? Papa Serell in here. If it is, the thing that Barryn Sorrell, what really popped last year as a rookie, especially, is his run defense. His run stop rate was through the roof. I mean, it was just, you could tell. I mean, he was a man bear out there on the edge in terms of setting the edge. And it's cool because, you know, when he came in, I didn't necessarily look at him as strictly a run stopper. You could see pass rush ability too when you really break down the college tape. But now, with knowing that's his strength, what I would do is I would put Barryn Sorrell with Micah out, you know, temporarily, or to at least till weeks, 5 to 7, 8, whatever it is. I would have Barryn Sorrell in there definitely on the early downs in terms of the run stops or run defense and whatnot, base 34, all that. And then you could rotate in and out Brenton Cox Jr., who was an excellent pass rusher last year. So essentially what it comes down to, based off what we've seen last year, was Barryn Sorrell was a much better run defender than Brenton Cox Jr. And keep in mind, Brenton Cox Jr. played less than 100 snaps, right? So maybe that would have improved. Maybe his pass rush would have went down. But Brenton Cox Jr. also had a 14.5% pressure rate, right? So you can see Brenton Cox Jr. being that pass rush specialist to bring in on the passing downs. And then obviously Barryn Sorrell on the early downs playing the run. And you're going to look to rotate in Collin Oliver and the rookie DDS, another guy. I love the fact that DDS is in that edge room with Micah Parsons leading the charge, Lukas Van Ness giving tips, and even Barryn Sorrell. The thing that stood out the most about Barryn Sorrell last year to me, and we were there when he got drafted live, live right there inside the bowl when they announced it and whatnot, and he was at the draft. To me, he was extremely mature for a rookie. And anytime you hear him in an interview, anytime you see him on the field, it doesn't seem like it's about him. It's about the team, and it's about working your ass off and getting the job done. I really like Barryn Sorrell, man. I think he's going to have a great year. I think it's going to be fun to see him take a step forward. And then Daddy Serell in the chat says, coming from family night, I'm pumped. Love it. Love it, man. Y'all make sure in Green Bay, give him the VIP treatment there, man. Family night is absolutely awesome. So appreciate you swinging through, Pops. You're the man. All right, let's move along here to a couple of other things. Trying to comb through. Like I said, there'll be a little bit of dead air flying solo if y'all bear with me. If y'all would take a quick second, smash that like button. I greatly appreciate that. And I'll try to keep an eye out in the chat for super chats and all that. We'll make sure that we push those at the front of the line. If I miss one, y'all call them out in the chat for me. All right. But let's see what we've got here on Twitter. So we've already got some long snapping video. Rob Domofsky says the practice long snapping video you didn't know you needed. Hey, let's show it, man, just so you can get a little bit better view here, like Tim you see roaming around over there on the sidelines. So is this the new long snapper we were talking about? Which I'm kind of excited to see, to be honest with you. And again, I don't have a problem with Matt Orzik at all. I think Matt Orzik has done a phenomenal job as a long snapper for the Packers, but you can kind of see, man, look at the flag back there. Absolutely. I mean, that wind is roaring today. I'm excited to see what Trey Smack can do for sure. So a little long snapper update there from Rob Domofsky. Anything else? Just the Josh Jacobs video. So we're still waiting for everything to kind of get cranked up here real heavy. There was some other news that I had seen too across the league. You guys know that in Detroit, Jahmyr Gibbs, right? Pro Football Talk just put a tweet out, said, as the Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs hold-ins continue, it's fair to ask whether their contracts shouldn't simply reset but completely blow up the running back market. He's got an article on that. So that was one of the things I wanted to highlight here is Jahmyr Gibbs is holding in today. Okay, so what does that mean for Detroit? When you look at the Detroit Lions, and we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on the other, we're here to talk Packers, but again, when it affects the NFC North, I expect the Lions to take a big step forward this year, as opposed to last year, obviously. They were banged up with injuries and they had some things not go their way, as where everything went right for the Bears. I expect the Bears to take a step back, the Lions to take a pretty significant step forward. But the problem is now you got Brian Branches banged up. Kirby Joseph's entire season is up in the air, the way everybody's tweeting about that. So their secondary is very, very banged up. Terrion Arnold, who got cut because of the legal issues, right? All those things makes you really wonder about their secondary. However, you got, Jahmyr Gibbs, who's a top 3, top 5 running back in the league over on the offensive side of the ball. And now he's doing a hold in. It just kind of feels like that culture in Detroit is really, really on shaky ground. So when you take everything into consideration with Detroit, now it makes you wonder, okay, is Detroit really poised to take a big step forward this year? I don't know. That's something that you can kind of look at and question a little bit. So I don't know. Let me know in the chat, guys. Comment right here. Let me know what y'all think about the North. What do you think the run? Let's do it this way. Most people in the chat will say the Packers are going to win the North, right? Let's just set that to the side for a second. How would you rank the other 3 teams? Because some people do have the Bears still ahead of the Lions. Other people have the Lions at the top of the division. And then there's some that think the Vikings are going to bounce back with Kyler Murray addition. I don't expect Kyler Murray to be anything he's never been, right? Like, I don't expect him to come in and just all of a sudden be a superstar because he's playing for KOC. So with all that being said, I do think he's an upgrade over J.J. McCarthy. The J.J. McCarthy we've seen last year, it doesn't mean he's going to be the J.J. McCarthy this year, but that would be a huge step if they obviously if J.J. McCarthy all of a sudden came out and played a lot better football than he did, obviously last year. So what do you guys think in the chat about the NFC North? Let's see what everybody's saying here. Go Pack Joe says Gibbs is at practice, but he's not practicing. So that's that hold in we're talking about. Coach Lynn says regression from the Lions and the Bears. Interesting. Watch it happen this way, Coach. Watch the Vikings all of a sudden win 13 or 14 games and us be competing with them for the North, right? That would be the most NFL thing that could happen for sure. Let's see here. Carter in the chat. Bears aren't getting all those turnovers again. Completely agree. Ben Johnson acknowledged it the other day. He said, we're the #1 regression candidate in the league. And people thought he was being tongue in cheek. No, that's just a fact. That when you have that many turnovers go your way the way they did last year, history suggests that's going to flip this year. Now, as a coaching staff, you got to prepare for that. It's kind of like the Packers were great at taking the ball away, taking the ball away in 2024. Well, what did they do? They went into 2025 and they had the ball king. They put all kinds of emphasis on continuing to take the ball away. Why did they do that? Because they could see that historically speaking, that's going to flip the next year. Well, guess what? We were bad at it last year. History suggests we're going to rebound pretty well with takeaways this year and turnover differential as long as we protect the football on the offensive side of the ball. I think the same thing applies to the Bears, just in the opposite manner, if that makes sense. So going to be fun to see how everything falls into place. Jason in the chat says, I think Detroit takes the opportunity to review backup running back. So maybe it's just like, hey, no pressure, let him hold in. Let's just get a good look at the backup there, right? Lewis in the chat, Packers win the division. We have the best team, offense and defense. When you look at the rosters, man, I have to agree with that. As long as we stay healthy, right? And you add a little bit of veteran depth there and leadership as well. Joe Mama in the chat, Lions are going to ride that 4th place schedule. That's a great point. The Bears are going to be playing the 1st place schedule, and the Lions will be playing the 4th place schedule. So that's something that's going to be in their favor as well. I think Vegas odds, last I checked, had the Lions as the favorites in the division. 2-0 for this says the Lions are like the people who won the lottery, got the money and burned out because they didn't understand how to maintain longevity. It was kind of funny, man, how they had a complete crash out last year. Coach Lynn says Packers, Bears, Lions, then Vikings. So he's still got the Bears above the Lions, got the Packers winning the division. Got it, Coach. Appreciate it, buddy. Dave C in the chat, I think the Lions and the Vikings approve. Bears regress. Should be a tight division again. Got it. Kyle Andretti in the chat says, I think Bears regress and win 9 or 10 games, and the Vikings finish in last. I think I agree with you the most here, Kyle. I do. I could see the Bears regressing, but they're not going to be a bad team, right? They're just not going to win those games that they kind of, I don't want to say lucked into, but things just kind of fell into place last year. And with the Vikings, I could see them still finishing in last place. Go Pack. Joe in the chat, Packers, Lions, Bears, Box in that order. I think he meant Vox. All right. And then Jason Bachman says a Lions schedule favorable. It is, and the Packers have a pretty favorable schedule in that regard, in terms of them finishing second in the division, right? But the Lions obviously are going to have the easiest schedule there. At least history suggests they would. So, all right, let's and again, Tim, you jump in anytime you want to, buddy. I'd say it's pretty windy out there, judging by the flags. But I'm going to go ahead and hit refresh on the old Twitter and see if we got any other information coming in here yet. And I'm going to keep my eye on the rest of the league as well. Nothing yet on the Twitter world here. If we go to the NFL tab, however, let's see what we got here. Here's Sleeper NFL. Jacoby Myers on the Jaguars wide receiver room, quote, all the way through, we got guys that are smart, first and foremost, who understand what they're doing and can make a bunch of plays. I will tell you this, man, Lee and Cohen, we all laughed at Lee and Cohen, right? Lee and Cohen took that job down there with Jacksonville, and we had the Duval, right? Remember that soundbite? We all laughed at him, said, look at this dork. Boy, he turned that franchise around quick. If there's one thing about Lee and Cohen, I know a little bit about him, Coach Cohen, because he came up through the McVay tree, right? The McVay-Shanahan tree. So he's kind of cut from that cloth of Matt LaFleur, or cut from a similar cloth as Matt LaFleur, I should say. He spent a year or two in Kentucky as the OC and really did great things under Coach Stoops. Now, he wasn't there long before he bounced back to the NFL. Yeah, as Joe Mama says, Lee and Cohen got the last laugh. No doubt about it, man. No doubt about it. So let's see. We got some other predictions still coming in here in the chat. James in the chat says Packers, Lions, Bears, Vikings. Got it, man. And then Steph says in the chat, I think the Packers, Lions, Bears, then Vikings. There you go. So Vikings in last place, Lions finished second. Got it. All right. Let's see what else we got going on in here real quick. What I may do too, I may pull up our little tool. I've got to get it to update. I meant to do it before I went live, and time got away from me here. So if y'all bear with me, do me a favor, man, smash that like button for us. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us here in these training camp festivities. We're waiting for everything to get kicked off. Everybody got in here early. It's going to be a fun little broadcast. So we created a training camp tracker tool, right? And I'm going to ask it to update this tool with the latest Packers roster, because there have been some signings. Somebody pointed out we had a player on the roster last year, or yesterday's show, that on our tracker that's no longer there. Latest Packers roster. All right, we'll see if we'll let that load up real quick from Uncle Claude, and we'll get it on the screen. We'll kind of take a look at some of these training camp battles. I love during and before and after training camp practice, kind of looking at the depth chart, adjusting things, taking a quick look. All right, how does this look like it's going to shake out? Not that one practice will decide anything. We all know it doesn't, right? But it's important to kind of keep your finger on the pulse in terms of what's going on in practice on a daily basis. That's going to kind of shape out this roster on down the stretch. Boy, it is pulling all kinds of information. Hopefully it'll put this together for us the right way. Just combing through here. Nothing on Packers news yet. Nothing popping up. Actually, here we go. Here's Ian Rappaport with a tweet about the Lions. I guess it's because the NFL Network's in Detroit today for training camp, or wherever they're having training camp at. From back together the weekend, Lions wide receiver Jameson Williams joined me to discuss his team's playmakers, how his talents will be used this year, and paying his team's star running back. I wish we could play that audio for you guys. Probably get hit with the copyright, but obviously Jameson Williams, I think he got a 3-year deal. Was it last year or the year before? And he's an ascending, up and coming, young receiver as well. One of those guys that was a little bit polarizing coming out of college, but has done a pretty good job since getting to the NFL. All right, let's see here. Practice number 4 on deck. We got everybody filing into their seats now. Looks like we're getting settled in. We'll have some updates really, really soon, as we are still continuing. So it's just added Lenny Krieg, or Craig, however you say it, the new kicker, right? Well, actually, he was released. He was cut Thursday to make room for the new long snapper, all right? And that is Cal Adamitis. I know I'm butchering that name. He was the long snapper that was signed. And that was because long snapper Matt Orzik obviously landed on PUP with the calf injury. Hopefully that's nothing long-term there. Caden Prather, however you say the name, was signed as well. And wide receiver Brendan Rice was waived. Okay, so that was the one that I was trying to think of. So if I pop this up on the screen, again, we're just waiting for practice to kind of get underway, start getting y'all some updates. So here's the tool that we created, right? Our 2026 depth chart tracker. Let's just kind of go through each position real quick, all right? So Jordan Love to Rod Taylor, that's going to be your QB 1 and 2, barring any injuries. So you've got two guys battling for a practice squad spot. Maybe they'll keep both on the practice squad. I wouldn't anticipate that. But you've got Kyron Drones, the rookie UDFA out of Virginia Tech. Mobile, very live arm. Really, when I think of Kyron Drones, I think of Malik Willis. Now, he doesn't have Malik Willis's talent, or he would have been drafted. He would have been drafted in, period, much less being drafted in one of the first 3 rounds like our boy Malik Willis was. But Kyle McCord probably understands the offense a little bit better, right? I would imagine that's the case there. So you got to kind of choose between one of those two. For me personally, Kyron Drones, it's like you've got that extra athletic ability, right? So you can help a scout team and whatnot. Well, Tyrod Taylor, I know he's older, but he was a 4.40 guy coming out of college, so he's got enough mobility that he could mimic that as well. Now, do you want to put him in harm's way, cutting and whatever, as your backup quarterback running scout team drills when you're preparing to play, say, a Caleb Williams or any other mobile quarterback, right? Now that they got Kyler Murray up in Minnesota, another mobile quarterback. I kind of like Kyron Drones to fill that role, but at the same time, if he doesn't understand the offense enough because he's so young, and let's say Jordan Love is out with an illness for a week, and you got to call one of these quarterbacks up to be your backup, I think I would much rather have Kyle McCord at this point because he understands the offense. Now, the flip argument is the fact that Matt LaFleur was so good in his ability last year to tweak the offense to play to Malik Willis's strengths in just a blink of an eye. Maybe he can do that for Kyron Drones and make it simple and give a level of simplicity that you can go out there and be effective, obviously. We got Tim over here bringing us some. I'm going to drop this down for just a second. Got some D-line drills going here, right? The big boys. What you got going on over there, Tim? Can you talk to us, brother?
We just got the D-line group working out right now. Coach Ogobasi working with them right now, doing a couple of individual drills. Load, drive, release, getting ready, tuned up. Here comes LVN.
LVN, I'm like a monster. I'm going to mute you, Tim. I'm going to mute you, brother. Appreciate the feed. So we'll let Tim jump in when it dies down a little bit. Obviously, a lot of screaming. Might get some cussing in there, too. You never know, man. Hopefully, y'all ain't got the kids in the room. But these guys out here putting in that work. Look at Barryn Sorrell. Woo! Looking thicker than a bowl of oatmeal out there. Let's go. So this is bird's eye view here, man. Tim, appreciate the footage, dude. This is absolutely awesome. So I love the chat. Absolutely love the chat. And to the best of my knowledge, this is not you don't have to worry about that too over this. You're allowed to take pictures and get footage of this stuff here. So we're good to go, man. We'll make sure, like I said, if there's any, Tim follows the rules very, very well. Very well. So Tim is way more cautious than I am. And you guys know I'm a nervous Nancy over here. Let me give me a sip. It's going to be hard to keep the voice talking for 2.5 hours on a solo show here, no doubt. But you see the guys getting ready over there. Let's go back to the depth chart tracker here real quick, and we'll keep that up on the screen for you as well. So, again, with the quarterback position, that's kind of how I feel about that. Let's go into running back. Last year we broke camp with 3, right? You got Josh Jacobs, Marshawn Lloyd, and Chris Brooks this year, I think, are the 3 that are in the running for that. Of course, Josh Jacobs, that's assuming he's good to go. That's assuming Marshawn Lloyd stays healthy. Chris Brooks at the moment, I think he's still on PUP, if I remember correctly, right? So he's got something going on there. Hopefully he's back at practice. But the other 3 running backs are in the running for a practice squad spot or potentially to step into that number 3 spot if indeed one of these guys start the year on the PUP list or IR or what have you. Pierre Strong Jr., Damian Martinez, Jaden Nixon, all 3 of those. Damian Martinez, you guys know I'm a big fanboy. I like Damian Martinez. I think he's going to be a good back. I think he's got an opportunity to be a good back if he can put it all together. But when I see all 3 of those names, there's a lot to like about Pierre Strong and his experience here in the league and kind of bouncing around to different teams, learning different offenses and whatnot. With that being said, Jaden Nixon was a very interesting prospect coming out of the draft. Obviously ended up being a UDFA. I would be okay with any of those 3 or a couple of those 3 at any combination being the practice squad guys. If I could personally pick one of those 3, just from a selfish standpoint, I would go Damian Martinez. I have a feeling Matt LaFleur would go Pierre Strong because obviously pass protection and whatnot, a little bit more experience, that type of thing. So going on to wide receiver, we talked a lot about it. Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, Matthew Golden, Savion Williams, Sky Moore, Bo Melton. We broke camp with 6 last year. I think that's the 6 that you plan on breaking camp with at the moment. Now, the other 4 that are kind of in the hunt here, Caden Prather, you've got Isaiah Nair, Will Shepard, and J. Michael Sturdivant. There's 2 of those that pop out to me. Isaiah Nair and J. Michael Sturdivant, I feel like, are the 2 that's created the most waves here lately, right? I feel like they're the 2 that have kind of helped themselves so far in camp. Isaiah Nair, I felt like, was the popular one coming into this offseason that, hey, this is probably our favorite practice squad receiver. J. Michael Sturdivant, I feel like, since the draft has become the more popular one. I think we had J. Michael's his uncle in here yesterday too, pleading the case. And listen, physically, man, he looks like he belongs in the NFL. Just got to put it all together. So if we were to look at that wide receiver room, I don't see any of those 4 that should or will unseat any of those top 6, right? Because Bo Melton is so valuable on special teams, and Sky Moore is probably going to be your kick/punt returner this year, and he's also going to be your backup F. So essentially, you got Sky Moore and Bo Melton as backup Fs. Now, here's where it gets a little bit tricky. If Savion Williams goes down with an injury, or let's say that Christian Watson gets banged up and he has to miss a game, you got to think in terms of bringing up another big body receiver to play on the outside, whether it's the X or the Z that we've been highlighting here lately. If that's the case, there's really none of these 4 that you see more of an F as opposed to an outside receiver. So I think any of those 4 could be called up to kind of help fill that role. Not that it would be ideal, but that's just kind of how I see the wide receiver room at the moment. Now, if I had to pick only one of those guys to be on the practice squad, my personal preference, I would probably lean toward Isaiah Nair over J. Michael Sturdivant, but that's just because of the little less experience in the league, right? By the end of camp, it may be a runaway J. Michael Sturdivant is that guy, right? That could be the case. Fishy Things gives 2 jewels here, a silver star. Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you so much. And Mike Berry with 10 jewels as well. Thank you so much, Mike. Here's the thing about the jewels, guys. I'm still trying to understand exactly what it is here on the live stream, and any support is appreciated. If it's costing you money to post the jewels, and I don't know if it does or not, still haven't gotten an answer there. If it is costing money, I would rather you do a super chat, right? If you do the super chat, then you can kind of throw a comment out there, right? And give us a question or what have you, so you can be involved in the show. But you guys do whatever you want to do. I'm still trying to figure out exactly how the jewel stuff works, because anytime, if it is costing you guys money, I haven't seen any monetization from it from YouTube. So I don't know exactly how it works. I'm assuming it does help the channel. Regardless, thank y'all so much for hanging out with us. If you would do us a big favor, smash that like button. Let's see if we can get to an all-time high in here on the live with the likes, man. We would greatly appreciate that. It'll help boost the stream. Let's go on to tight end for a second. Tucker Kraft, Luke Musgrave, Josh Wiley, Drake Dabney. This thing is really about to get shaken up because obviously Luke Musgrave dealing with the neck injury. If he starts to, and I don't know if he will, okay? I don't have any inside information. I'm a fan just like you. But if Luke Musgrave starts the season on PUP list and we still decide to run with 4, who's the 4th guy you're going to bring in here? Is it? And listen, this kind of applies to Drake Dabney too. So essentially, pick 2 out of these. Let's say Luke Musgrave starts on the PUP, and you got to pick 2 out of these 5 tight ends: Drake Dabney, Luke Lachey, R.J. Maryland, Messiah Swinson, or Thomas Yasmin. Who would it be? For me, I think I would probably lean toward Drake Dabney and Luke Lachey. However, Messiah Swinson's interesting. He's been in and around the league for a few years, right? So just kind of keep that in mind. Thomas Yasmin, I think he's an international player, so he may be the international pathway player moving forward. That could be the case, right? So I think I would lean toward Drake Dabney and Luke Lachey as the next 2 in line. But R.J. Maryland is a fascinating prospect coming out of college there. So shout out to Clint C with the super chat. Thank you so much, buddy. He says Super Bowl. That's it. Just keep it simple, right? Super Bowl is all we need to know here. Let's take this down for a second and get this back on the screen. TMC, you can see they're setting up some drills here for us. So I'm going to continue to comb through real quick Twitter and see if we got any updates. We got some flying in now. Bill Huber, man, he's a freaking hero out there. Love his coverage of the Packers. Let's just kind of comb through real quick and see what we got going on here. So if we go to just one second, I think that's the right one. It looks like it's the right one. Maybe it's the right one. Yeah, let's throw this up on screen here. We'll just kind of scroll through the Packers news feed and give you guys an inside look inside the fence here. Obviously, Tim out there getting ready to watch some D-line drills as well. Shout out to 2-0 for this. Super chat just says Jules threw a bunch of emojis in. Thank you so much, 2-0 for this. We appreciate you, buddy. You are the man. Thank y'all for throwing a tip in the tip jar, a little door fee, if you will, stepping in the stream. We greatly appreciate it. Bill Huber tweeted out, Kamal Haden is back. There's a reason why he dropped this. Dislocated pinky. He's back in drills. So he's got a dislocated pinky is what I'm understanding here. All right. Got it. I don't know if he did it right there or he's already done. I guess he's dealing with it coming into practice. But nonetheless, let's just focus here for a second, right? Focus here for just a second on Kamal Haden's footwork. All right. My man looks good. He looks healthy. Let's go. How do you come back? Oh, man, it's just wild. That injury was so gruesome, and I love him putting his nose in there, not afraid to tackle Derrick Henry, too, is how you got the injury, right? I'm really rooting for Kamal Haden. I really am, man. I think he's got an opportunity to be a good football player in the league. He's hanging around. You know how many people would have been like, man, let me rehab this thing and take a year off to try to come back next year. Kamal not having it. Hell no, I'm back in there. We're going to keep this thing going. Love the grit that he shows, man. Steph in the chat, been a member for 4 months. Hey, Clay, please go back to me on that Cooper card. Cooper card. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that means, Steph. I apologize. Trying to see if you said something before that maybe connected the dots there. Unless you're talking about us giving away an Edgerrin Cooper card on down the road. I don't know if we got an Edgerrin Cooper card. Maybe we gave you one before. I don't know. Sorry, Steph. I'm an idiot. That's on me. I guarantee it. Scrolling back through, just seeing Tom Silverstein put out an article. If you guys see these names on my feed, go give them a follow, man. I've got a Packer News tab put together here, a group, a list, if you will, and they do a phenomenal job. Rob Domosky tweeting out a picture of Kamal Haden in the first drill back from his gruesome ankle/leg injury. Kamal Haden's right pinky popped out of place after hitting the ball, so it was on that play. Trainer popped it back in, and he jumped back in the drill. He says, note, this is not a picture of said pinky fingers. So he actually did pop it out of place, but boy, he is not going to be denied. Here's Matt Schneidman with the tweet. Shout out to Matt Schneidman. Jordan loves custom handshakes with all 5 running backs. So there you see Josh Jacobs, Marshawn Lloyd. Let's go, dude. J-Love is such a good leader, man. Such a good leader. I can't remember what I ate yesterday. Ain't no way I can remember all these individual handshakes with the running backs. Jordan looks good too, man. He looks like he is in great shape. A little thicker up tight. Am I wrong? Look at the biceps there on Jordan. J-Love been in a weight room a little bit. Add a little something extra in there. But looking at the weather looks absolutely gorgeous out there too, man. All right, Spofford. Mike Spofford says, seen here on rookie's second-round pick, Brandon Cisse, the Guardian Caps have a sleeker, more stylish look to them this year. It looks like they're a little more padded on the outside as opposed to just loose cloth hanging there. Tim, thank you for that video, brother. Appreciate you, man. Anytime you want to chime in, you go right ahead if you get in a quiet place. Steph with the super chat. I sent you a message in Patreon. I have a card to give away. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Edgerrin Cooper rookie card. Gotcha, Steph. It's so bittersweet when y'all offer to donate cards and stuff to give away on the stream because, like, I know it would go to another fan. I know y'all want to be a blessing, but at the same time, I'm like, man, I want y'all to keep your memorabilia. I don't want you to feel like you have to donate it, but we'll do that, Steph. We'll take you up on that offer for sure. And I need to get you $5 back, so you shouldn't have had the super chat to make that make sense for my idiotic self, but thank you so much, Steph. We appreciate you. We'll do that. We'll give it away. And we're going to be giving away a Luke Musgrave card here. We'll try to plan on doing that tomorrow. I'm going to get that set up. It's an autographed Luke Musgrave rookie card we're going to be giving away. That way I can mail it and the Marshawn Lloyd card off that we gave. And if you guys are wondering how to get entered into that, what she's talking about, a lot of the viewers are donating memorabilia to give away on the stream and whatnot. If you're a member of our Patreon group, patreon.com/PackerFan Total Access, $3 gets you access to everything on the site, right? All the chats, all the extra content and whatnot. But it also gets your name entered into the giveaways. We'll put everybody's name on the wheel, spin it. Whoever it lands on wins the piece of memorabilia. We're going to be doing, I think I'm going to plan it for family night. We're going to be giving away an autographed Xavier McKinney white away jersey. Really, really cool piece of memorabilia there. I'm pretty sure it's a white. I'll double check that, but we're going to be giving that away to one of the Patreon members. So make sure you're a member on Patreon so you can so you can get yourself into those giveaways and whatnot. So, all right, we're going to hit refresh here. We'll go back to Tim for a second. We'll go a little bit fuller screen, I guess you could say, as they got the D-line group out there. Tim, you unmute yourself if you want to say something. If not, buddy, we're good right here. Thank you for the extra coverage, man. You are awesome. Let's see what else we got here. We'll continue to scroll down the Packers news feed here. Wes Hockowitz tweeted out, beautiful day for Packers training camp. Return to practice, Kamal, Haden, and Jagger Burton. Let's go. Big Jagger out there back in practice. You love to see it. Says reserve list. Edge defender Micah Parsons with the knee, Luke Musgrave with the neck, long snapper Matt Orzik with the calf, defensive tackle Javon Hargrave with the knee. So we're kind of finding out a little bit more about Javon Hargrave. It is a knee. Brant Banks, offensive lineman with the hamstring, running back Chris Brooks. Let me click on it. Evidently, a few more. So Chris Brooks has the hammy. He's not participating. And then defensive tackle Jordan Riley has the Achilles. And then, of course, in this video right here, you're seeing Jaden Reed run a little. Ooh, look at the footwork. Watch the foot. Oh, look at those J's. Are those retro Jordans that he's got on? My God. Looking sick. Look at the feet in there. Man, yeah, Jaden Reed looks good, dude. It's going to be awesome having him back for the entire year. Again, inside release. Look at the footwork at the end, little toe tap swag or toe drag swag. Love to see it. So Jaden Reed looking the part, man. Mike Spofford tweeted out this picture. Rookie 5th round pick, offensive lineman Jagger Burton is back at practice after dropping out early on the first day. So that means the hammy is good to go. Let's get it, man. I can't wait to hear the updates on Jagger Burton as we get a little bit deeper into practice here. If y'all would do me a big favor, smash that like button. Got a bunch of people just jumped in here. We would greatly, greatly appreciate it. I'm going to try to see if my wife will calm the dogs down. Hopefully y'all don't hear them in the background. But this is what happens when you're flying solo, man. Everything falls apart. Everything falls apart. All right, let's see here. So Jagger Burton, man. Let's do this. Let's make sure there's no other updates. Ryan Wood, here we go. No routes on air for Tucker Kraft today. All right. He's mimicking his releases off to the side, something he didn't do in the first practice off of pup. All right, got it. So maybe a little bit of, hey, let's take a step back and see how the knee responds and do some stuff on the sideline. Maybe he'll get a little more involved as we get a little later into practice. So let's drop that down for just a second, and we're going to go back. I want to look at the camp tracker here real quick and take a look at offensive line. Now that Jagger Burton's back in, I'll be honest with you guys, a little concerned, like, oh, no, is this going to happen all camp? We'll see how his practice goes. But when it comes to Jagger Burton, here's the offensive line. Last year we broke camp with 9. Let me zoom out just a touch if it'll let me. So last year we broke camp with 9. All right. Let's say we break camp with 9 this year. I'm thinking Jordan Morgan. This is from left to right for the starting 5, and then we'll just go backups randomly. Jordan Morgan, left tackle. Aaron Banks, left guard. Sean Ryan, center. Anthony Belton, right guard. Zach Tom, right tackle. Let's assume everybody's healthy. Darian Kennard, I think, will be your 6th lineman. He's going to be your swing tackle. He could play interior as well. Jagger Burton, I believe, is the early candidate to be your swing guard, meaning he could play left and right guard in a pinch. He could also play backup center if for some reason Sean Ryan has to come out for a play or two. Maybe Jagger Burton would step in there. I feel like it would more likely be Jacob Monk, who's next on this list at number 8, stepping in to help fill that void there at center if for some reason Sean Ryan has a hiccup or obviously has to take a play or two off. Next on the list will be Donovan Jennings, in my opinion. Now, when you look at the rest of the offensive linemen that are sitting in the pool here, Carson Barnhart, John Williams, Dylan Wade, Travis Glover, Dalton Cooper, Brant Banks, Dylan Barrett, and Josh Geske. Me personally, if I had to choose from one of those guys to replace Donovan Jennings, like, okay, let's say Donovan Jennings is not the guy, I would probably have to lean towards Travis Glover. That's a prediction. That's not my personal opinion. I really like Dylan Wade. I think he's coming out of Auburn, if I remember correctly. I'd love to see what he can do. Now, we got to get his first training camp under his belt. Probably going to be a practice squad guy. But those are the 2 guys that come to mind for me first, right? Now, the reason I've got Donovan Jennings over Travis Glover at the moment is because I feel like he's got a little bit more versatility than Travis Glover does, being a guard/tackle. And that's what you want your 8th and 9th guys to be. Like Jacob Monk filling in at left guard while Aaron Banks was out of practice and Jagger Burton had the hammy, really showed you, like, it seems like he's next in line behind Jagger Burton to be that swing guard. With that being said, I think Donovan Jennings will be the next one up. in that regard. So for me personally, that's the route I would go here. Elijah in the chat says, how is Travis Glover doing with his injury? Any update? I have not heard anything. Elijah, if anybody else has an update, throw it in the chat. Timothy in the chat says, Jacob Monk is underrated, in my opinion. I agree. I mean, this is probably not a popular opinion. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I understand offensive line play more than a former offensive lineman in Coach Steno or even, Matt LaFleur or any of the other coaches. But me personally, I wish Jacob Monk was given an opportunity to compete for the starting center job. But now that Brian Gutekunst has re-signed Sean Ryan to a 3-year, $33 million deal, that's kind of off the table. They're not just going to let Jacob Monk take that job from him and have all that money sitting on the bench, obviously. Now, if you're saying, well, if Jacob Monk was to start at center and you could kick Sean Ryan back to right guard, I don't feel like Sean Ryan played good football at right guard, right? And on top of that, now you're forcing a second-round pick in our boy Anthony Belton going to the bench. So it's like, yeah, I think the writing's kind of on the wall. That's going to be your 5, man. And here's what I want more than anything is just don't shuffle them around, right, Timothy? Like whoever you got settling at these 5 spots, let them settle in at those 5 spots. That should be the goal here, right, in my opinion. So, again, Jagger Burton back at practice. You love to see it. You see Tim giving us some bird's eye view here from practice. Kind of you see what's going on there. Let me hit refresh on the Packer news feed and see if we can catch anything else here. We'll just go back to that feed real quick. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with us here during training camp practice. If you would, smash that like button for us if you just jumped in. We're going to be here. I'm going to try to do this for the entirety of the practice, okay? That's going to be the plan here. That's going to be the goal. And now we're getting a loading screen. Hopefully that'll clean up. Let's take that down and hit refresh real quick, see if we can get that loaded back up for us. There we go. Now we're good to go. Packers news. Bang. All right, so here we go. Rob Domofsky tweeted out 7 seconds ago, former longtime Packers assistant coach / offensive coordinator, interim head coach, Joe Philbin is here. So Coach Joe Philbin in the house. Let's go, man. If you guys maybe you're a younger Packer fan or you don't remember who Philbin is, he was the OC under Mike McCarthy. As a matter of fact, when Mike McCarthy got fired, he was the interim head coach for a little bit. But Joe Philbin put together some electric offenses on Coach McCarthy's staff, and he spent a lot of time with Coach McCarthy in Green Bay. You can see here Bill Huber with a video of him kind of walking by, hanging out with, I don't know who the other 2 guys are there he's with, but Joe Philbin is in the house, no doubt about it. So Sleeper NFL tweeted this out. It is realistic for Tucker Kraft with the knee to take part in joint practices versus the Cardinals later this month per Matt LaFleur. We kind of talked about that a little bit earlier. Here's Sleeper Packers with some footage. We got Jordan Love to Christian Watson, little back shoulder fade, just routes on air, right? Just out here tossing the old pig skin around. We'll let that loop for a second. Look at Christian. Let's watch the release. Man, the thing, and I don't know if maybe it's the ink helping a little bit. I don't think it is though, guys. His legs just look like they are so much thicker. And we say this every year, but man, he's built like a tank. Love the high point. What's crazy about Christian's height, you really don't even have to high point the ball, right? I mean, this dude is he's so damn tall. Again, routes on air, but pretty ball. Can't throw that ball any better. Christian Watson looking good out there. See the super chat, Joe. I'm going to go to it in just a second, buddy. Appreciate you. Paul Brettel just confirming offensive lineman Jagger Burton with the hammy is participating in the individual portion of practice. And then we got Ryan Wood here with a video. Shout out to Ryan Wood. Make sure you're following all these guys. That's the point of sharing their Twitter feed, guys, so y'all can see the ads. Go give them a follow and get the best training camp coverage possible. So here you see at the top of the screen, and the far side of the screen, I should say, Christian Watson, another little – actually, no, that's Josh Jacobs. I thought that was Christian Watson. I thought I seen 9. That's actually – I was like, man, he's a little bit thicker in this shot. So Josh Jacobs, running back, a little fade, little non-fade route there, right? Back shoulder. Jordan Love over the shoulder to Josh Jacobs. On the bottom of the screen, you're seeing Pierre Strong go up and high point the ball, right? And Pierre Strong looking pretty good here in terms of in shape, right? Pierre Strong might be that next Emmanuel Wilson. You never know, man. We might look up halfway through the season. He's getting some significant carries and working his way onto the roster. Maybe we carry 4 running backs coming out of camp. Who knows, right? Joe Trev with the super chat. Thank you so much, buddy. Appreciate you. Says Jordan Morgan is going to give Austin Booker nightmares this year with the demon emoji there. Appreciate the super chat. Joe Trev, you're the man. Here's the thing about Jordan Morgan. I still haven't posted that video. I meant to check with Wildy and see if it was okay. But, man, our boy Joe Thomas talking about Jordan Morgan the other day, man. I mean, it was just like he was raving over Jordan Morgan at left tackle. I need to tweet that out. It's just this time of year, man, everything is so wild, so random, so rapid. It's hard to stay up with everything. But he was just talking about being he done some work with Jordan Morgan. He got to sit in on practice. He got invited by Matt LaFleur to come into practice, and he kind of shadowed Jordan Morgan all day, guys. He was talking like Jordan Morgan looks the part, especially from a technical standpoint, no doubt. Tim, I seen you were off to the side a little bit, man. Again, you cut me off at any point that you want to jump in here. Don't feel like you have to, okay? But at any point, if you want to jump in and talk, man, you just cut me off, all right?
Clay, I'm just trying to make sure I'm maintaining the wind speed here. Can you guys hear me okay?
Got you, man. It doesn't sound too bad. I'll let you know if it picks up. What you got going on, bro?
I just stepped across the street a little bit, try and get out of the wind, give you a little look. It's a full house today out here for sure. A lot of families, a lot of fans out here. We're getting close to the period where we're going to be in period 3 going into period 4 before you go video a lot. So I'm going to try and follow the rules best I can.
Absolutely. You're doing a great job. That's what I told them, man. You're definitely more of a follower than I am. So we appreciate you, man. The wind is picking up big time right now for sure. But thank you so much, dude. Appreciate the coverage.
For sure.
All right, man. I hate that we can't hear him a little bit better because I'm telling you, dude, what I was hoping to do if it hadn't been so windy is Tim just be on live with us the entire time having a conversation, giving you guys kind of his take from right there on the ground. So hopefully we can do that a little bit better here in a little bit. And again, I told him, and I'm going to say it again, Tim, do not ruin your practice experience for the show. All right, man. You make sure that you're having fun first and foremost and getting the coverage you want to get. If you want to kill the camera and go take some video footage and pictures and stuff, do your thing, man. We appreciate you being out there. So Clint C said Tim's eating cheese curds. Man, hey, we went to a steakhouse here in Jonesboro yesterday, Jonesboro, Tennessee. And this is a real nice steakhouse called Jackson's Prime. Anybody in the area probably going, yep, been there. It's awesome. We got a big tomahawk steak. It was phenomenal. But they had cheese curds on the menu. Got to be honest, guys. I think they might have a scotty back there in the damn kitchen. Those cheese curds were on point. They were good. So I was like, yeah, somebody from Wisconsin's back there in the kitchen today. No doubt about it. No, nobody in Tennessee knows how to make cheese curds like that. Look, we got a dog in the house too. Love it. Love it. Look at this. First appearance on PTA, that Roddy. Love a good Rottweiler, man. Let's go. Unmute it, Tim. Let's see here. I'm going to unmute it for a second. Tim's like, please don't do that. You're going to get me canceled. Nah, well, we got it. We got the shot there. So they got the Roddy out there at practice.
Hey, that's Big Bo. Big Bo's out here watching practice.
That's awesome.
He's watching the other Bo. We got Big Bo. We got Little Bo out there today.
I bet they got him trained. If you say Caleb Williams, he goes into attack mode, don't he?
You know it.
Love it, man. Love it. We got LTG here with the super chat. Said, here's $5. Windscreen fun for Tim. Love it. Good stuff.
I love it.
Yeah. Awesome. You sound pretty good right now, Tim. Not too bad.
Yeah,
good.
The wind's dying down a little bit.
Yeah. Jay Lewis, we'll do that. Tim, you go shopping, Tim. Find some noise-canceling earbuds, the most expensive ones. I'll foot the bill, all right? That's for your troubles.
Let's do it. I think I saw Matt Ramage out here somewhere running around. He's got some pro-grade stuff. Maybe he'll let me borrow some.
Yeah. I bet he's running around with his shirt off and an ice-cold bruchacha in hand. That's what's going on there.
You already know. Probably going to meet up at Stadium View after this. You know it.
Exactly. All right, let's see. I'm going to go back to the Twitter feed here, see if anything has changed. Eli Berkovitz is one of the best follows on X. I'm just going to throw this up real quick. He's responding to an Andy Herman tweet, right? Jagger Burton back practicing and got the psycho look there from obviously Coach Gruden. Man, love it. Eli Berkovitz, great follow on X. So here we go. Wes Hikowitz with some footage. Jordan Love on a play fake, dropping back to pass, let it rip over the middle of the field to, is that Tucker Kraft? That's Tucker Kraft sitting in the middle of the field there. Who needs a net when you got a tight end one, right? So Jordan throwing to Tucker over there. I love the way they utilize that too. Obviously, Jordan in this drill is just working on his footwork, the play fake, right? Playing the air guitar as Jordan or as Aaron Rodgers used to say. And rather than have the net out there, have Tucker Kraft just catch a couple extra passes from Jordan Love. You notice how Tucker is just continuing to find a way to get himself involved in practice. And no leg sleeve today either. Notice that right there. Let's go, man. Tucker seems to be feeling pretty darn good out there at practice. Love it, love it, love it. All right, let's see here. Make sure we didn't miss anything. Oh, I did miss one, didn't I? Oh, I'm so sorry. Did I miss this one? Yeah, I did. My bad. Go Pack Joe with the super chat. Thank you so much, buddy. When Jordan Morgan got drafted, Coach Bill Belichick was a guest analyst and not, and he insisted that he would be a good tackle in the NFL. I remember that exactly. So sorry I missed this. Go Pack Joe. I'll try to keep the super chats pulled up a little more often here, buddy. My bad. I think I got all the others covered. Yeah. So yeah, I remember that specifically, and we talked about it on the show. If y'all would do me a big favor, smash that like button. So when he was drafted, Bill Belichick was the guest analyst on the Pat McAfee live draft coverage. And I remember him specifically saying one thing about this guy. He's a left tackle. He's a true left tackle. And I went, oh, let's go. He's going to compete with Rasheed Walker, take that job, and that's going to be our left tackle of the future. Lo and behold, we get into camp, they put him at right guard. It's like, what are we doing? Right? Now, I don't want to say they pretended. That sounds rude. The coaching staff basically said that Rasheed Walker beat Jordan Morgan out, right? That's what he said. That's what the coaching staff decided. So they put him at right guard because he was so valuable there. He didn't play bad at guard, guys. This big misnomer that Jordan Morgan did not play good football at guard, I disagree with that completely. It's just, he didn't play at a first round talent level, right? Well, he's playing out of position on the opposite side of the line too. Not only is he out of position from tackle to guard, but he's from left tackle to right guard, right? It's like wiping your rear end with the opposite hand. That's not my take. That's what all offensive linemen say with switching different sides. That's what makes Zach Tom so valuable. Zach Tom can do it. And he's been vocal about it's just never been a problem for me, man. I can go from right tackle to left tackle and mirror the footwork, mirror the hand placement, mirror all the technique, no problem. There's some guy, that's rare that someone can do that, right? So appreciate the super chat, Joe Pack Joe. And I remember that comment from Belichick. And listen, whether you think Belichick is over his skis at UNC right now, and he definitely didn't coach his best ball in the latter part of his career, he's still the GOAT. He's got more Super Bowls than anybody, and he was able to win a couple Super Bowls before Tom Brady became Tom Brady. I remember when the defense was carrying the load back then. So the fact that he using his pops' old scouting philosophy, which is 90% of the league still uses to this day. That's Steve Belichick's old scouting philosophy in terms of scouting a prospect. Him looking at Jordan Morgan and go, yep, this dude's one thing about him, he's a left tackle. I think you're going to see him play his best ball this year. Again, it wasn't my personal opinion when I've been saying this all offseason. I think Jordan Morgan will play his best ball at left tackle. It's people like Bill Belichick that made those comments. It's people like Joe Thomas that said, man, he's got good technique at left tackle. I think he's going to do a great job. So thank you so much, Joe. Appreciate the super chat, buddy. We comb down here, see if there's any other footage. Rob Demoski, Jordan Love to Tucker Kraft, Savion Williams, and Jaden Reed. So there's Tucker. Just a quick little shoot route, if you will, right? Little, some call it an arrow, some call it a shoot, little flat. Here is Jordan Love. Back to pass. Who's he going to here? Little post route to 83, Savion Williams. All right. And then Jordan Love back, a little lob ball and a go route down the seam to Jaden Reed. So, yeah, Jordan looking comfortable out there. Man, watch Tucker right here. Footwork. Yeah, quick little shoot route. I think Tucker's going to dominate this year, man. I think he is going to absolutely dominate. Again, this is video courtesy of Rob Demoski over on X. Make sure you guys are following. I'm sure you are. Rob got a huge following over there. So what's Rob up to now? Oh, I don't know, just 171,000 people that he's tweeting out to. So also Sleeper Packers, shout out to Kev over there running the Sleeper Packers account. Make sure you guys are giving him a follow. All right. Tucker Kraft's back out there catching passes from Jordan Love. There's that. Oh, so I didn't even realize that aspect of it. That's that shoot route, right? Just a quick little flat from Tuck. Watch Jordan Love. Just focus in on Jordan Love's release right here. Watch how quick. This looks like a second baseman turning two. And look at that. Notice the bend on the ball, too. Watch this. Watch the bend of the ball when it leaves his hand. Woo! Perfect spiral. J Love. Love it, dude. Going to be a good year. So that's the latest update in there. I don't think we got any super chats. Let me drop this down. We'll hit refresh again. We may move on to another position group real quick with our training camp tracker as well. But, oh, yeah, we got some updates flying in now, guys. Some of this might be a little redundant. I'll try to filter through. But we're just going to keep the Packer news feed pulled up here, okay? So this is kind of going backwards. So let me go to the last videos that we see, and then we'll work our way forward. How about that? That might be the best way to do it. All right, here's Bill Huber with a video. Here is Luke Lachey. His dad was an all-pro lineman. So you see Luke Lachey working there. Little what we call an angle route. I think you could call it. Some call it a return route. So you kind of try to sell a little shallow corner, then come back across the middle there. I call it an angle, a little double move angle. But, yeah, Luke Lachey, not the cleanest catch, but he is thick too, man. He is built like a tank. So love that he's securing it with two hands there. Here's a couple videos. One from Matt Schneib and Tucker Kraft just spent a while running routes and catching passes from Jordan Love and other quarterbacks. So Matt Schneib will give you that footage there. Bang. And again, all this is free on Twitter, guys. All right, you guys can go give them a follow and check it out yourself. Make sure you're following these accounts. There's that little shoot route from Tucker that we showed. All right, so here's some of the updates flying in, all right? Wes Hockowitz, Brandon Cisse opens up opposite of Nixon in first team period. So there we go. There's our first information. Keyshawn Nixon on one side, Brandon Cisse on the other. This is first team period. Let's see how he does, right? Matt Schneib tweeting out the same thing. Again, some of this will be a little redundant. We'll try to filter through it and keep everybody up to date here. Wes Hockowitz tweets out, sharp connection between Love and an open Savion on a slant for 15+. Let's go. All right. Mike Spofford tweets out, Kennard and Monk still with first-team O-line. Cisse paired with Nixon for the first defensive reps. And then Love to Williams for a big gain to start things off. So Kennard and Monk still with the first O-line. So it'll probably be Jacob Monk at left guard, Darian Kennard at right tackle, I imagine is what that is. We got Tim joining us now. Tim looking like a damn special agent over there. Go ahead, Tim. What you got going on, man? Where you hiding at?
Can you hear me now, man? I'm hiding in the Great North Commons right now. I snuck up to the third floor. Let's see if we can let's see if we can get you guys a view here.
Oh, beautiful. Look at this.
I don't know if you guys can see practice through there a little bit.
Oh, yeah, dude. Looking good, dude. Looking good.
Yeah, I had to get out of the wind for a little bit, man.
It'll wear you down, dude, especially that with the sun, man. You get the wind burn and the sun burn, boy. That's tough.
Yeah, it's a little cooler out, but it's sunny and it's beautiful. And you're definitely right, Clay. It's a bit hot out there in the sun, so taking a little break for you guys.
Go ahead and let you know this real quick, Tim, a little inside baseball. It's early in the process, and this house will probably go quick, but we are looking to make an offer on a house in Green Bay. We got to get some stuff buttoned up on the business side because it will be a Airbnb rental property for us, but we're starting to get real serious talks up there about a place in Green Bay, my man.
Let's go. Let me put in my application for property manager for you real quick.
You're first on the list. That's what I was telling my brother-in-law yesterday. I was like, I got a guy up there that'll pistol whip somebody over the property. Anyway,
Let's
appreciate
go.
the conversation. So some of these other updates that we got going on here, sharp connection. We talked about that. We talked about Kennard and Monk, and then Wes Hockowitz says BSJ rotates in for Nixon next. I got to get used to that. He's talking about Benjamin St. Juice. So, again, you started off practice. It was Keyshawn Nixon opposite of our boy Brandon Cisse, right? Those are the two starting corners. They rotate Nixon out and bring in Benjamin St. Juice. So it sounds like as it sits right now, if you had to guess, of course, keep in mind Carrington Valentine got the first team reps up to this point, right? So what you probably got is Nixon. People are going to get mad, but it is what it is. He's locked in. I feel like he's the early favorite to be number one corner. There's no surprise there, right? He was the number one corner last year for the Packers. Opposite side, it's going to be a battle between Brandon Cisse and Carrington Valentine, okay? And then it seems like on Nixon's side, the first one up will be Benjamin St. Juice behind Keyshawn Nixon. Again, it's early. We'll see what else shakes out, but that seems to be the early rotation. So we'll hit refresh, come back to the BSJ there where we left off and see if anything else has dropped so far. Mike Spofford said St. Juice comes in for Nixon to take the last one rep of the opening team period. Valentine on the sideline with his helmet hasn't come in with the twos either. So hold the phones. When you see that tweet, kind of makes you think, is if Valentine hasn't even come in with the twos, is he a little banged up maybe? He's got his helmet, planning on practicing. Maybe he tweaks something. I don't know. Again, we don't have any information on that. That's the first thing that comes to mind, though, when you see that. So let's see here. I think we're all up to date there. Yeah, looking pretty good so far. I'm going to take a quick look, since we are up to date, and go across the NFL real quick and see if we got anything going on here. I put it on the screen, but they randomly flash these videos so we could get hit with the copyright. I definitely want to play by the rules here. Running back watches on with the Falcon star Bijan Robinson awaiting a market setting new deal. So he's still holding out, obviously. Is there anything else? Some Parker Washington, blah, blah, blah. No, Travis Hunter. Jacksonville Jaguars showing a clip of Travis Hunter playing receiver. Lord, that's a hell of a catch. I think we can flash that one. Let's flash that one real quick. We can get this off the screen. So give you a little glimpse into Jacksonville Jaguars camp here. Oh, was it picked off? Actually, it was intercepted, wasn't it? Maybe that was a pick. Let's see here. Let's watch it again. Yeah, so the offense is in the green. No, so he was playing receiver then. What a catch by Travis Hunter. Wow. Travis Hunter out there playing a little receiver, look like. Yeah, he was definitely playing receiver. Offense is in the oh, and then there was another play where he was on defense. Okay, I got it. So the second play here, let me make sure it stays muted. But you'll see here on this second play, so they've got Travis Hunter playing both sides. Watch this clip right here. Now he's got the white tank top on, undercutting the route, picking it off. So Travis Hunter out there making waves. Should, though, man. He was a high draft pick, right? No doubt about it. All right, if y'all would do me a big favor, man, smash that like button. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us here during training camp practice. Tim heading back over. Got out of the wind for a second. Let's see if there's any updates here on Twitter. Looks like we got a few of them rolling in now. Actually, here we go. Mike Spofford. Couple of bad shotgun snaps and a batted pass at the line by Campbell make for a rough first series for the twos on offense. So there you go. And batted by Campbell. All right, got it. Rob Demoski tweeted out, Donovan Jennings sailed consecutive snaps over the head of Tyrod Taylor. John Williams now at center. So they're rotating a bunch of guys in at center, right? Donovan Jennings, some bad reps there, probably just trying to see who else could be an emergency center. And then, of course, John Williams, the former college tackle, who I think they projected to be a guard, getting some center reps here, which I think he might have got some center reps last year in practice. Seems like we had a conversation about that. Joe Trev with the super chat. Thank you so much, buddy. He says, damn it, Joe Trev. Trade Nixon for a bag of footballs. There it is. Super chat. I got to read it. Joe Trev, I understand the frustration, man. I do. I get it. Yeah, I mean, you guys heard me rant about it, right? Especially when you got people like Tucker Kraft and whatnot trying to do everything they can to get into practice. But the thing about Nixon, he's not a bad corner. He's not. Right? He's just not that true number one corner. I would not say he's a true number two corner. I would say he's number two caliber. But the problem is when you're a number 2 to 3 cornerback, and the reason I say that's because PFF grades him out as a high 2. That's what PFF says. But when you look at the third and fourth downs, the money plays, he struggled, man. And leading the league in penalties for cornerbacks, that's not a good look. And then you look at the clutch plays down the stretch, and there's a lot of bad there. You get the goal line situation. All that stuff starts to pile up. You go, I can't consider him a high 2 when you take everything into consideration, right? So I'm cool with him being on the team and competing for a starting job. And if he's the best player, put him out there. If he's not, don't pretend like you got to lock him in. That's my thing. That's kind of how I see the whole Nixon situation. So trading him for a bag of footballs, as much as I appreciate the super chat and I respect your opinion, I would not trade him for a bag of footballs. I think I'd rather have him on the team at the contract he's at, but just don't pencil him in as a true starting cornerback, right? So I understand the frustration, though, Joe Trev. I really do, man. You are not the only one that would trade him for a bag of footballs, just judging by, looking at Twitter and all the fan reaction and whatnot. So let's see here. Let me add Kev. I thought I had him added. What am I doing with my life, man? Let me add one in here, add from the list. So give a shout out to Kev over on X. Somehow missed it here. Give me just 1 second. Appreciate y'all's patience, man. It's kind of hard to produce it and talk at the same time here. But I'm going to give you guys another person you need to go follow real quick, okay? Shout out to Kevin. He does a phenomenal job for Sleeper and just covering the Packers in general. This account right here, @_Kev Robinson _. Make sure you go give him a follow, right? Listen, the fact that he's only got 22 followers is because people don't know about him yet, all right? But you see here a little footage. Jordan Love with the pass to J. Michael Sturdivant, excited to see what he can do with the Packers this preseason. So here he is going to J. Michael Sturdivant. Again, J. Michael Sturdivant continuing to – looks like he got both feet in too, didn't he? I believe he did. Let's watch the feet. All right, there's one. Look at that pause skill, boy. I'll never be able to do that again. Right foot in. He's in. So nice little play there for J. Love to J. Michael Sturdivant. J. Michael Sturdivant might make a case to make this roster, boys and girls. Every day we're talking about him, right? I think he's a shoo-in, a definite for the practice squad, no doubt about it. So, again, shout out to Kev for that footage there. Absolutely awesome. Let's drop this down. Let's go back to the feed. I'm going to go back to the regular chat too. Let's see what else we got in here. All right. Oh, I love it. Packers just tweeted out a shot of your starting linebacker duo. We'll get to that here in just a second. Make sure we did not miss anything else. We got Kev added now to the list. All right, Valentine is out here with the helmet in hand and hasn't been in team yet, Wes Hodkiewicz says. So the fact that he's holding his helmet makes you think he's expecting to go in. But you know how it is. Sometimes a player tries to convince the team to put him in, even though he's a little banged up. We'll find out if there's any injury attached to that or not. And it might be them giving Brandon Cisse an opportunity to win that job, right? Like, I love that. I will say this, the footage I seen of Carrington in the last practice, he looked like a man that was very, very motivated, very motivated. So Green Bay Packers tweeted out this linebacker duo. So you see Zaire Franklin. I think his nickname is Z. That's what Coach LaFleur's calling him, is Z. So we said Za, we've said Z. I think it's going to be Z. We'll see if that sticks. But nonetheless, he's out there with Cowboy Coop, a.k.a. the Boogeyman, a.k.a. whatever he wants to call himself. Cooper looks stacked this year. Looks like he's ready to go. Zaire Franklin, too. It's going to be a lot of fun watching that linebacker duo work together, man. Oh, I love it. 2-0 for this. You might have won the contest, sir. World War Z. Let's get it. Let's get it. So, yeah, I'm excited to watch those two guys strap it up this year, man. I think they're going to ball out. I really do. It's just two different skill sets, right? You've got the experience and the football IQ of Zaire Franklin, who's been an overachiever his entire career. I think he was a 7th-round pick. Ended up being a second-team All-Pro in Indy, right? He revealed the Packers tried to trade for him several times throughout his career, and this is the first time it actually fell into place. So Packers had their eye on Zaire Franklin for a very long time. And then, of course, Edgerrin Cooper can do it all. I think you're going to see him rush the quarterback out of 5-man penny looks. I think you're going to see him drop into coverage and cover the tight end down the seam. That's not what Zaire does, right? Not that he can't, not that he won't, but in an ideal situation, you want 44, you want Zaire Franklin, you want Z down there in the box being a gap destroyer. That's what you want to see him do in this defense. And again, in the modern NFL, man, you got to do it all, right? You've got to be able and willing to do it all for sure. So, let's see here what Joe Trev said. I think he's still talking about Key. I'll forgive Nixon if he doesn't get not one 15-yard penalty this season. Buddy, I don't think that's going to happen. Man, that would be awesome, but I don't think that's going to happen, sir. I think we got to set some realistic goals here. He gets a little antsy out there on the football field, no doubt about it. So, all right, let's go back to Twitter real quick and the Packers feed. Wes Hodkiewicz, like what I've seen from Stackhouse so far, he's been disruptive inside and looks bigger too. How in the world is Nas Stackhouse bigger, Jacob? How's he bigger this year, dude? How'd he pull that off? Oh, that's coming from Wes Hodkiewicz, though, man. How you doing, bub?
Oh, I'm all right. A little tired today, but no, I mean, we talked about how Nas looked really twitchy too, doing some of those off-season workouts. So if somehow he's bigger and more fast, I mean, look out, NFL, because we could have ourselves an issue there. It'd be great to add to that rotation, especially when you throw in a guy like McClellan and obviously the two big boys up front. So pretty excited about that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That gets you fired up, dude. Again, you can never have too many of those big guys in the middle, especially if you got guys rotating on and off the practice squad, no doubt. So Mike Spofford just tweeted out, Matthew Golden versus Brandon Cisse on a shallow cross, complete but couldn't run away from him. Franklin all over Wiley down the seam. Here I just said you don't want Zaire Franklin covering the seam, and he's covering Wiley down the seam. You love to see it. Love beats the blitz with the floater downfield for Christian Watson, but he can't haul it in off the dive. Melton fell down on an in cut, but Cisse only gets deflection, no interception. So once again, Jacob, you're seeing Cisse's name all over these updates. Right before you jumped on, it was reported there. I think it might have been from Spy. It might have been from Wes Hockwitz, but multiple people confirmed it. They started off. It was Keyshawn Nixon on one side, probably at left corner from the defense's perspective, and the other side was Brandon Cisse. And then when Nixon came off, it was Benjamin St. Juste coming in. And then they said that Carrington Valentine is on the sidelines holding his helmet. So he hasn't been in teams yet, which is kind of weird. We don't know why he hasn't been on the field yet. But again, they might potentially be giving Cisse every opportunity to win that job. And I really like that, obviously. But
yeah. I just like what Warrior Jennings is talking about here, saying, wow, if that's kind of crazy that Cisse actually kept up with Golden. I mean, obviously, I think we're all expecting Golden to take a big step. And for Cisse as a rookie to come in just to have even the athletic ability to run with a guy like Golden is very intriguing to watch. And then I love the idea of him on one side and St. Juste on the other. That gets me pretty excited.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, another update here. Wes Hockwitz says defensive tackle Anthony Campbell has batted down like 3 passes at the line of scrimmage in the first 4 practices. So Anthony Campbell continues to make a little noise at defensive tackle. And again, when you look at the defensive tackle spot, believe it or not, last year we broke camp with 6 of those guys. So this year the projection will be Javon Hargrave, Devontae Wyatt, Chris McClellan, Warren Brinson, Carl Brooks, Nas Stackhouse. Left in the pool here, if the roster is up to date on our tool, Jordan Riley, Jonathan Ford, Jaden Crumity, and then Anthony Campbell. Of those 4, maybe Anthony Campbell's the dude who kind of starts to separate himself a little bit as a depth piece. And I don't know if they'll carry 6 or not, Jacob, because we've talked about this with edge defender. We only broke camp with 5 last year. If you break camp with 5 this year, and let's say Micah Parsons was healthy, Collin Oliver would be the odd man out most likely, right? But with Micah going on PUP, again, this is one of those things that injuries kind of help filter this thing out or clean this thing up itself, right? Collin Oliver would be one of the 5, but if you needed to free up a spot, you could probably put yourself in a situation where it's like, okay, if you wanted to only carry 5 edge defenders, that would keep that 6th spot freed up. Is there a chance that they tone the defensive tackle room back to 5 from 6? I think the answer is no, because last year we predominantly ran a 4-3 defense. This year, if we're going to be running a 3-4 in the base, that means you're going to need one extra defensive lineman, theoretically speaking, right? But Anthony Campbell making some waves. Tim, you got anything? I don't know if Tim, you got anything, big dog, or no?
Yeah, just charging my phone. I jumped back in the car real quick.
Awesome. Good.
You guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we got you, man.
Real quick, Tim, if you can hear me, the Anthony Campbell thing is more intriguing because we've mentioned how we probably want some big dogs up front, with Gannon's defense. I didn't realize he's listed as 6'7", 300 pounds out of Miami. I mean, talk about a big guy up front. You can't get much bigger than that.
Yeah.
I got a quick glance, but good Lord, big beast of a human meat missile, if you will.
Love it, dude. Yeah, it's going to be fun, man. You can tell they really did. They did a good job of kind of stacking the defensive tackle this roster for sure. And again, you would love to see a dominant number 1 D tackle that's top 5 in the league, but those guys don't grow on trees. It seems like Goody is kind of stacked at the bottom of the deck a little bit, a little bit of extra value there at the bottom. So going back to the feed here, make sure we didn't miss anything. Let's see here. Where were we at? Ones. Stackhouse. There's Anthony. Okay, here we go. So Ryan Wood, Brandon Cisse getting run with the ones with a good 3rd and 5 cover versus Bo Melton. Held outside leverage and stayed glued when Melton cut route to the middle, forcing Jordan Love incompletion. So Brandon Cisse, once again, if I have my old school marking system, I'd be green mark for Brandon Cisse. Seems like he's turning heads. Mike Spofford points out Campbell bats down another Taylor pass at the line. Taylor backs into Oliver for a would-be sack. The pressure on the QBs today is notable. So 2 things there. Another batted pass by Campbell and Collin Oliver with the pressure. You love to see that. That's the first time we've heard Collin Oliver's name mentioned this training camp, right, Jacob?
Yeah, I mean, that's the first sighting I've heard about. I mean, granted, if he was kind of a backed into it, so it sounds like you kind of gave him a gimme, but I'll take it at this point. Seeing any signs of life from Mr. Oliver is what you want to see, and it's pretty impressive. It sounds like the defense, like, kind of seems most years is just maybe a little bit ahead of the offense coming right now. But dude, I just still can't get over the fact that isn't our first football on Thursday? I mean, we get to watch real live football here. I mean, I'm so excited. And then I just, I hope these guys understand that trying to keep themselves healthy is going to be just as important as putting stuff on tape. So I'm excited that they get this all ready to go, man.
Here's another update, too. Check this out. John Williams has played all 3 offensive line positions in practice today. So he's played tackle, guard, and center. So, again, when we look at that camp tracker in terms of offensive linemen, we have John Williams on the outside looking in with Donovan Jennings pressed in. The reason I said Donovan Jennings is because I felt like he had a little more versatility than John Williams. But now we're seeing John Williams is playing all the positions. So maybe he leapfrogs Donovan Jennings. And, Tim, if Travis Glover doesn't make this roster, we'll never hear the end of it from Emilio, right? You're muted, bro. I'm going to unmute you. Gotcha. Go ahead, man.
I said what's up to Travis this morning on his way in. So I gave him some love for Emilio, but yeah, it's not a shoe-in that T. Glover makes this squad. I mean, Donovan Jennings is a beast of a man. We've talked about it before, and O-line is probably the group that we probably need the most help at. So it could be a competitive room there on that offensive line. But yeah, shout out to Emilio. I made sure I gave Travis Glover some love for you, man, this morning on his way in for sure.
Love it.
Tim, Warrior Jennings.
There it is. Here's the guy.
Warrior Jennings on the chat is asking about Jagerbomb. Did you see any signs of life from him, or did you get a chance?
He's back today, Jacob. He's back.
Is he?
Yeah.
How did he look? Did you get any glimpses of him?
I didn't really get a glimpse of the O-line group. I was mostly focused on the defense, you know me. And now I'm in the car charging my phone before it dies. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah. Not so cool. Ask what's up with Emilio. He's in the clink right now. We're trying to raise. If y'all throw some super chats in there, we'll get him out. We'll get him out of the jail there, sir. All right, I'm just joking. He's doing good. He's just busy working. He's been texting us all morning. He can text us, but he can't get on the show. Funny how that works.
Yeah, weird.
Really strange. But anyway, Matt Schneidman tweets out, will perhaps explain why Cisse is running with the ones. Wes Hawkowitz tweeted out, Valentine's out here with helmet in hand and hasn't been on the team yet. So we kind of talked about that. So one of those things, man. Listen, Keyshawn with whether it was truly a hammy or he was holding out day one, gave Cisse some extra reps. And now Carrington, for whatever reason, he's on the sideline. Brandon Cisse getting reps. And it sounds like Cisse's making the most of it, man. So absolutely awesome. I love this. Wes Hawkowitz tweeted out, longtime Packers assistant and one-time interim head coach Joe Philbin is at practice today. And then, of course, evidently on some kind of website, they've got Dan Campbell pictured as Joe Philbin. So got to love it. Ryan Wood says, Brandon Cisse getting run with the ones. We hit that one, right? Update from Wes Hawkowitz, Daniel Whalen's foot is still booming. Love to see it. And then Matt Schneidman tweeted out here, if we go more, edge defender Collin Oliver with a nice couple plays and teams beats tight end Drake Dabney to stuff a wide run and beats Dalton Cooper for a, quote, sack that would have sent Tyrod Taylor to Narnia in a real game. Last year's fifth rounder only played one game as a rookie because of a hamstring injury. So you're seeing Collin Oliver in the run fit there too. So that's a good sign. Latest update. Wes Hawkins says, first time I've ever seen an edge rusher have to stop, put hands on hips, and wait for the pass to be thrown. Talking about Collin Oliver coming off the line there. So, Jacob, either that was a really bad pass blocking rep by Dalton Cooper, or maybe he really is Baby Micah. He might be.
Hey, like I said, it's just good to see some signs of life. And he's one of those guys where I would assume is going to get some pretty substantial playing time in the preseason. And that's, I mean, I don't know. There's probably a list of like 15 to 20 guys now that, like I said, just makes preseason to me almost as interesting as the regular season, because obviously it doesn't affect, nobody when you win the Super Bowl, let's say, is going to talk about, well, they went 0-3 in the preseason though. It's like, but it's still, I think, as influential in the rest of the season because of just knowing that development and seeing these guys get all those reps and what they're able to do with them. 2-0 for this gives us a $4.99 super chat saying Emilio's work live stream fund.
There you go.
He looks like he's having a lot of fun. I don't know if you're keeping an eye on the chat, but he's out there listening to some banjo music and riding the trails. So at least he's got a good excuse, I guess.
Yeah. I got to see if I see what you're saying there. Now we should put that video on the screen, right? It's funny too. I was out in Jonesboro yesterday and sent y'all the video of, or was it the night before or what? Now they were playing Three Doors Down bluegrass style.
Oh, yeah.
I took my shirt off and everything, dude. I was jamming out there. Unbelievable. So, all right. So next on the list here, it says Ryan Wood says, as Packers do special teams dolls, I think he meant drills. Boy, I don't like that. As they do special team dolls out there.
No
special
comments.
team drills on the other side of the field. Tucker Kraft getting some routes in with Jordan Love. Just caught a seam fade. No defense, but starting to get more work with QB1. You could tell they are really finding each other on the practice field. Like, hey, I got to get Tucker Kraft some balls thrown here for sure. Wes Hawkins says Packers putting Cal. How would y'all say that name? Adomitis. Adomitis? Is that how you say it? Adomitis?
Nailed it.
Perfect. All right. So
Got it.
Cal Adomitis to work today with an early punting period and likely field goal period later on. I know, Tim, that's why you're getting that phone charged up. You ready for Trey Smack to hit the field next minute?
Yes, sir. I might jump off the stream and go see if I can get some footage
Do you
of
think, man?
of my favorite draft pick, baby, kicking some field goals into the wind. Let's go.
We need it. Got to have it, dude. Got to have it. And then Ryan Wood says some struggles from Packers backup offensive line in opening team period today. Donovan Jennings with consecutive high shotgun snaps to Tyrod Taylor. We talked about that earlier. The second clearing over Taylor's head. If you're going to do it, man, go all in, right? Throw that thing out of the practice facility. John Williams replaced him. Next rep and defensive tackle Anthony Campbell bats to Tyrod Taylor past the line of scrimmage. So some of that stuff's a little bit redundant, like we were saying. So, and then let's get us a little refresh here, see if there's anything else that's coming in. There. So we're up to date. We're up to date so far. I'm also going to take a look over on NFL News. If you got any chats you want to hit, Jake, if you go right ahead, man.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Jay Cole's talking about how he watched Zaire Franklin on the 520 podcast. He thinks that dude's got dog mentality. I would agree. And he just has that veteran presence and leadership. And I just think it's going to be super, super beneficial for this team as a whole, for him to kind of have that having Zaire in the middle, freeing up edge to kind of be just a little more of a freak, not have to use that mentality of his to worry about the green dot, what's coming in with the plays. That, again, I think frees up a guy like X to be able to just kind of roam around that safety room and really not have to worry about as much. It just feels like it's really all going to come together. And if we even get a couple of these guys to take a few more steps, I mean, you talk about the coordination in that quarterback room going from what we had last year to this year. The linebacker room seems like it's solid. The biggest room that I thought was going to be an issue is that D tackle room. And all of a sudden, I'm thinking, we're talking about whether or not we keep 5, 6, or, I know we won't keep 7 most likely, but it's just nice to know that we'll probably have some decent talent even on the practice squad going into the 53, barring any sort of injury or anything. That's what Coach is talking about here, how he loves all 4 of these corners and how they've been getting plenty of reps. A lot of times when we get these guys in, even, early draft picks, whatever types of draft pick, they just seem to get redshirted almost. And I can't stand that because it's like you spend so much draft capital. I'm really excited to see that Cisse is performing. And then last one quick, Warrior Jennings says Micah, baby Micah, LVN, and DDS is nightmare fuel. And don't forget about my Cox, all right?
There it is.
Whoa, take it easy.
It's the family program. Adam Schefter tweeting out 15 minutes ago, Saints head coach Kellen Moore confirmed to reporters that defensive tackle Brian Breesy, who injured his knee last week, will undergo season-ending surgery on his torn ACL. Guys, you're seeing this all across the league. Like, we have been blessed so far up to this point. I know we got our taste of it last year, don't get me wrong, but, man, you look around the league, and there's just so many important players that are going down with injuries. Also wanted to show you guys this. NFL on CBS, the best tight ends in the NFL. Number 1, Brock Bowers. Number 2, Trey McBride. Number 3, Tucker Kraft.
Yeah, you.
Right over top of number 4, George Kittle, number 5, Colson Loveland, 6, Sam Laporta, 7, Ty Warren, 8, Kyle Pitts, 9, Harold Fannin Jr., and then tied for 10th is Travis Kelce and Brenton Strange of Jacksonville Jaguars. Anybody else see Travis Kelce showing up to camp looking a little bit overweight, a little bit heavy?
He was enjoying some birthday cake somewhere.
I think he was enjoying that post nuptial celebration too much, right? Maybe one too many daddy sodas after the wedding.
Sometimes you see those pictures and those videos, Jacob, and you go, it's just probably the angle. That one was like,
no, dude. That looked like even the training staff was like, we don't have a jersey that size, dude. Are you serious? Let's just put on the old one.
Hey, Creed Humphrey, can you let him use your jersey for this? Doing some drills.
You know, hey, but realistically, though, how cool is it that our boy Tug Norris is in the top 5 where he belongs, right? Let's talk about that. Coming off an injury, just off the PUP list. Clayton, you've talked about this numerous times that, last season he was on record-setting pace before the injury. It's just nice to see him getting his flowers a little bit early on here. Through the training camp process, but I firmly believe he's right where he belongs there in that top 5 category.
Yeah, and one thing I've noticed about it, Tim, and get your take on this, Jacob, like you see these lists, and almost every list you're like, where do they get that from? What is it? CBS, their quarterback list I was looking at it going, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like CBS seems to be, in my opinion, early in the offseason, or early in the season, I should say, but it seems like they're kind of more realistic than anybody else right now, Jacob. At least it feels like to me when they come up with these lists.
Yeah, I would just argue about this one here. I would almost agree with it 100%. Other than the fact that Trey McBride, let's not forget, has Jacoby Brissett as his QB1 going into this year. So that I think kind of should knock him down a few ticks. And I think maybe Kittle's a little bit disrespected here, but he's coming off some pretty serious injury too. And I don't think he's 100% yet. So, and you just talked about how some of these crazy injuries. Did you guys see that their young guy Pearsall? He's pretty much done for the year, from what I understand. And that's another guy that's fought through adversity. I mean, I don't know much more adversity you can get than getting shot. You know what I mean? And coming back from that, and then having the terrible injury that he just occurred. And let's just say he's on a lot of people's bench right now. But obviously, fantasy is not important when you talk about that kind of stuff. But yeah, what a crazy year. Cannonball John, quick with the super chat here. Appreciate it, man. Says this PTA show kicks Peyton and Eli's arse. So much fun, guys, for Tim's fund. Go Pack, go. There you go.
Thank you so much, John. Appreciate you, buddy. And when I seen this PTA show, and then I seen a KS at the end, I knew it was going to suck.
I didn't even read it before I started reading, so I was like, oh, please.
Appreciate you, John. Thank you so much, man. I'm over here hitting refresh on the Packers news tab, and they must be in some kind of little break right now before team, maybe. Tim, we got kicks going up, brother. There's some kicks. Yeah, we got 18 kicks. So let's get you. Want me to spoil it for you? Want me to let you get out of the vehicle?
I'm at like 27% on my battery. I'm gonna jump off and see if I can go see my boy Trey Smack.
All right, man. Do your thing, brother. Appreciate you.
All right, fellas. See you.
All right. See you. So here are the updates. We'll let Tim make sure that he doesn't hear this. He may. Well, I guess he can't go back and watch it over there either, right? So here is what Matt Schneidman tweeted out. All right, Trey Smack, 4 of 6 on his first live field goal period of camp. He was good from 28, good from 33, missed 39, good from 42, missed 45. So 3 of 5 here, and you guys hear the wind. The wind is crazy. That's what I love about Packers training camp. We talk about this every year, don't we, Jacob? It's always windy for training camp. That's good practice for those kickers out there at Ray Nitschke Field. It's whipping around big time. Bill Huber confirms Smack hits 3 of 5. One miss hit the flag atop the right upright. Also left, missed to the left from 45. It is windy, he said. And then, of course, here's Rob Demoski showing the flag right now, of course. By the way, is there anything more glorious than that beautiful flag right there, dude? I'm telling you, I see that flag, I get emotional. I love it. I absolutely love it, man. I see that flag. I don't know what y'all think when you see the flag. I see the flag, I think of all the men and women that sacrificed everything. So we can be sitting here in an air conditioner talking about a football training camp practice. Mm-hmm. So if you serve our country, you're out there listening to us right now, or you have family members you've lost that served our country, We are forever indebted to you guys and gals, and thank y'all so much for your service. But Trey Smack's first field goal session at camp, he's just kind of confirming there. It is cool to see the flag there. But 3 of 5 on a windy day. I get out there and get some experience, right, Jacob? And listen, he's going to be working on different techniques and whatnot to try, kind of like what Ryan Longwell was talking about. Like when you get to Green Bay, you got to kick on a different plane and whatnot, right?
Right. And I see some people getting a little nervous in the chat. I totally understand that. But if you look through there, good. And then that asterisk there at the 38, he said low snap, appeared to hit the flag on the top of the left F right. So, I mean, that's obviously it's not whatever. There's no almost in football, right? Kind of like and the other thing that I wanted to mention is I'm looking at the weather report here from my app. It says that it's consistently hitting gusts of 22 up to 22 miles per hour. I mean, think about kicking in that type of wind. And to your point, Clay, the adjustments he has to make. And then at the very last second, that wind could just take a dive down at the last second, or vice versa. You could just get that monster gust, and all of a sudden that whole trajectory of that kick is going to be completely offline. So I'm not 100% worried about it. Mm-hmm. I'm just excited, like you said, that he, like right here, we're talking here, you Madden 2091 says Smack has to learn the wind in Green Bay. Easier said than done. Yeah, it's I don't know if you guys have ever in the last few years, ever maybe even since high school or in high school, tried to go out there and kick even like a 20-yard kick. It'll humble a man very quickly. I tell you that. I think the last time I tried to do it was with my nephew like 5 years ago. I pulled a hammy, hit the kick more like, I wouldn't call even a kick. It was more of like a squib kick. I slipped. They laughed at me. I pretended like I did it on purpose. And then I got up and I was like, oh!
Right. Yeah. Hey, thanks to everybody who's tuning in. We appreciate y'all hanging out with us. We're going to continue here with practice. If y'all would, do me a big favor. We've got 346 people watching live on YouTube. We got almost 600 total across all platforms. But of the 348 on YouTube now, we've only got 104 likes. Just do me a quick favor. We bring you this stream for free. If you want to throw a tip in the jar, that's cool. But all you have to do, just hit that like button for us. We would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Let's scroll up, see if there's any other updates. Spofford, just confirming what everybody's reporting here. 3 of 5 for that. I'll hit refresh. Anything else you've got marked in the chat right now, Jacob? We pretty much caught up. It's cool if we're caught up either way.
Yeah, we're kind of caught up, but there was a lot of kicker talk. You know, he said, damn, Jacob did the Charlie Brown. That's exactly what happened. Otherwise, it was actually worse than that, man, because nobody pulled the ball out from me. They had a perfect hold, and I still did it. But, yeah.
There you go. So, Rob Demoski tweeted out, Carrington and Valentine dropped out of practice before any team periods. Brandon Cisse has been with the ones for the 11-on-11s. So, again, they've got to be real careful at how they report, what they report for the one-on-ones. With that being said, Brandon Cisse getting an opportunity with Carrington Valentine. You guys hear us say all the time, you can't make the club in the tub. That's what we're talking about. That's where that originated from. That was an old training camp reference that I heard Tim Ryan use, who used to play line, I think defense or offensive line for the 49ers back in the day. They had a saying, you can't make the club in the tub, meaning you can't make the club if you're back there in the whirlpool, in the hot tub, right? Like if you're banged up, if you're injured and you can't go, it's going to cost you your spot. Unfortunately, it seems like, and we don't have any details, I'm assuming Carrington tweaked something, warm-ups, individuals or something, and that's why he had to drop out of practice. So we haven't heard anything. I think it would have been reported if there was some kind of he got into a shouting match or something like that, right? It's probably something he just tweaked, kind of like what Jagger Burton did on day one of practice, which great news there. Jagger Burton returning to practice today. Ryan Wood tweeted out, seems like Lukas Van Ness has made a play every day since start of spring, just batted a Jordan Love pass at the line of scrimmage on 3rd and goal drill. So LVN, I think he's going to take another step forward this year. We've talked about it all offseason. When you look at the data, you look at the per snap basis of how he played last year, his run stop rate was on par or even a little bit better than Rashawn Gary, who was, believe it or not, Rashawn Gary was one of the best run stopping edge defenders in the entire league last year. So you had that aspect. Okay, well, how did he do rushing the passer? He was right at a little less than 12% pressure rate was LVN last year in terms of NFL Pro GPS tracking with Next Gen Stats. So LVN, everything analytically, data-wise, is trending way up for LV. And you go, okay, well, what was his PFF grade? It jumped to 75. So everything is showing a big improvement last year. He just had a little over 300 snaps because he got hurt. If he's healthy this year, it's not going to surprise me one bit, Jacob, if we look up and go, yep, LVN's that dude, let's give him a contract, it would not surprise me one bit, man. How do you feel about LVN so far?
Yeah, I think that he just needs to work kind of like Tuck does. Keep his head down. Don't get too overconfident. Let's see if we can put it on the field. I think they'll probably kind of be a little more gentle with him. I doubt that we'd see him in any preseason snaps if I had to guess. And then I think that just the type of rotation, even without Micah, it's going to be a lot stronger than I think a lot of people are giving us credit for. But I would like to see him be on the field pretty consistently. You know what I mean? We've had that argument a lot in years past as to why some of our kind of studs, like when Gary was here, like why they're only on the field sometimes 50, 60, 70% of games, because we like that heavy rotation, specifically at that edge spot. I know I couldn't imagine running edge, 90% of the game or some crazy stat like some of those guys do, like, what was it, Myles Garrett and our boy out there in the Raiders. I can't remember his name at the moment, but it takes a toll on their body. I mean, completely. So yeah. I think that, to your point, man, that he is going to take a step. I always reiterate that he is just an absolute freak of nature. Nobody that big and that large should be able to run a 4.6. Like, that's just insane. And like Wolfpack is saying, LVN is kind of tailor-made for Gary's replacement. I'm pretty excited about that.
And behind him, Barryn Sorrell is cut from the same mold. An edge setting, run defending, edge defender, right? Like that, he's kind of cut from that mold first and foremost. I think Barryn Sorrell is there. And of course, we're hearing Collin Oliver, baby Micah. We're seeing the speed on the practice field, and with the updates on top of that, Brenton Cox Jr., 14.5% pressure rate according to NFL Pro last year. So you got a good little collection of guys that do things well and not so well. You can mix and match to make your defense work. We got several updates coming in here now. After the LVN update we just gave you, Mike Spofford said official word is Valentine dropped out of practice. Injury update will come tomorrow. So it is definitely an injury. Marcus Eversole tweeted out, red zone, Lukas Van Ness with a batted ball prevents a touchdown from Love to Reed. He was wide open. That's the play we were talking about before with LVN. Everybody reporting that same bat down. And then Mike Spofford comes back and says, Bullard tight to Reed in back of end zone. All right. And then he goes on to say, Love, zone Reed, roll left, and quick flip to Melton for the touchdown. So Bo Melton with a TD there. Wes Hawkowitz goes on to say, Love works the read option, rolls left, and then puts a dart on Melton for a touchdown. Prime Russell Wilson S. So obviously they're talking about that RPO. That's a run pass option where you've got a run play call. The O-line is blocking the run. You've got a couple of pass routes attached as well. Sometimes it's just one. Put the ball in the belly of the running back, read the defense. If they crash on the run and you like your hat count in the passing game, you pull that ball, you throw it. You'll hear us sometimes talk about six-back offense, RPRs. If you start to hear more of Jordan Love, you heard it a little bit, but if you start to hear a little bit more of Jordan Love running with the football off of an RPO, now we can officially start to go RPRs in play, which is run, pass, run option or six-back offense, meaning typically 5 offensive linemen, the 6 remaining players are in play that you've got to cover. You don't have to worry about any of those 5 offensive linemen going out in a route, right? So when we say six-back offense, typically you only have to get a hat on 5 of those guys because the quarterback's staying in the pocket. If you have a quarterback like Jalen Hurts, or in this case, if Jordan Love can implement a little bit more of that in his game, and I'm not suggesting he runs hard like Jalen Hurts, but if you could pull the ball with some RPR look, when the defense is planning on only covering 5 targets, the 6th guy is the quarterback. Now they have to put a hat on him and understand he could run with the football early in camp. We're only 4 or 5 days into this thing, but it kind of feels like I think he's already rushed for 2 touchdowns in that first practice of the year. So if we do implement RPR, when you hear us say 6-back offense, that's what we're talking about. It makes the defense play 1 hat down. And boy, when you start playing 1 hat down, you open up the shot plays. That's what makes RPR so effective at the NFL level. Next thing here. So Ryan Wood's saying Jordan Love boots left on 3rd. If that's accurate, that's different. A boot is different from an RPO look, right? So a boot is typically a designed heavy play action to one side, bootleg action to the opposite direction, right? So with no video there, we don't really know. Wes Hawkowitz says new wide receiver Prather. Is it Prather or Prather? What would you say there, Jacob?
I thought it was Prather.
Okay, cool. New wide receiver Prather catches a dart from McCord in goal line. So Prather making a little bit of ways there. Bill Huber confirms touchdown by Prather in a 3rd and goal drill. All right. And then, I think it reset. Here we go. Rob Demoski talking about the Carrington Valentine dropping out, and then just talking about him running with the ones. It reset on us, didn't it? I think it did. What do we got? A hook and ladder? Did I just see that right?
Ooh.
Hold up a second. What is this?
They're running the oop-de-oop?
Marcus Everso. Your dummy O's can't run a simple draw play. You got trick plays? Oop-de, F and oop. Marcus Everso. Some people go, what are you talking about? Go watch Varsity Blues tonight. You'll thank me later. Marcus Everso tweets out, hook and ladder, Taylor complete to Melton, who tosses it to Lloyd. Now, what's a hook and ladder? All right.
Remember Mox?
Some people don't. Yeah. Some people don't know what a hook and ladder is. Typically, a hook and ladder is exactly what it sounds like. They'll run a hook route or a curl. Okay, so a receiver will run a curl. The running back will come out of the backfield, or I think actually, was it Billy Bob that actually came out of there and took the lateral? Anyway, it's called a hook and lateral because it's a hook route with a lateral. And obviously, if you say it with a Southern draw like me, it's hook and ladder. Right? That's what kind of evolved into that. So the hook and ladder is throw the ball to the curl, and then as the defenders crash in on the guy with the ball, he pitches it to the running back out of the backfield. So a little hook and ladder action. Tyrod Taylor complete to Bo Melton, then tossing it to Lloyd. You love to see it. God, I love football. How can you not be romantic about football, Jay?
Dude, I'm just so excited. I think
not to cut you off. Matt Schneidman says hook and ladder. First time I've seen that in 8 seasons here. So just to say it is kind of rare. Pretty fun though. Go ahead, man.
No, that's basically what I was going to say. The chat's like that. I love that they're kind of keeping it fun. Listening to Matt's press conferences the last couple of weeks, he's been talking about how this team seems like that the whole process of what they're doing has sped up. I think that's because we have so many year one guys going into year two to year three to year four. So it sounds like that, they're starting to, he says they're being so efficient that they're getting a lot more done in the same amount of time that they did at this point last year. You can tell when they start throwing trick plays, like just kind of in the middle of practice on day 3, 4, 5, like that's pretty fun. I love that it just feels like that this team is really has a lot of camaraderie. I hope next what 2-0 for this says, we got to run the annexation of Puerto Rico, man. Why not? Let's just get them all out of the way.
As I was reading that comment, I could see that skinny little kid on Little Giants with the glasses, right? Him over there drawing it up. Wasn't he drawing up a play with Coach Madden in one scene? Isn't that what was going on? I'm pretty sure they had him in a scene together where they were drawing a play up together.
That was the nerdy kid on the sideline. Well,
that's right. So it wasn't the little snot bubble dude, was it?
Yeah. The snot bubble.
Yeah,
I gotta watch the movie. Thanks.
Yeah. If you guys have not seen Little Giants, please do yourself a favor. Go watch that. That's another phenomenal football movie. It's just, if you've ever seen The Sandlot's a classic, right? It's a baseball movie, obviously. It's like the football version of The Sandlot, is it not, Jacob? It really does feel like that.
That's a good combo. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's see if anything else is reset here. So there's a hook and ladder. All right, for your records, the Packers have the hook and ladder in their playbook, so we kind of talked about that already, right? Hold up a minute. Let's read Ryan Wood's entire tweet. I know it's a little redundant, but it's worth it. For your records, Packers have hook and ladder in their playbook. Tyrod Taylor throws a stop route to Bo Melton, who laterals back to Pierre Strong Jr. Strong finds end zone down the sideline for a 20-yard touchdown. Matt LaFleur teasing his new defensive coordinator with that one. So he getting a little chippy out there, man. You think those guys aren't pushing each other in practice? Love it. Wes Hockowitz says 2 strong reps on back-to-back plays by Nixon against Golden in the red zone, each resulting in a pass breakup. I've got to say this. Keyshawn Nixon looks like he's having a strong camp. It's early, but you could tell he's playing motivated right now. I love it. And I'm going to say it again for the 1,000th time. If you come out of camp and Keyshawn Nixon's your best corner, start him. I just want there to be competition. I want to know what all these guys can do. Right now, I feel confident in saying we're only 4 or 5 days in, but what we've got right now, what I think we're seeing is Keyshawn on one side, Brandon Cisse on the other. That's what it feels like to me, Jacob. And again, not because Benjamin St. Juste has done anything wrong. He had an interception yesterday, right, or the day before. But it just feels like he's not gotten as many opportunities as those other 2 guys. That's makes sense. So,
yeah, that makes sense. Just real quick, I mean, not to beat a dead horse with the Nixon talk, but that's exactly how I feel. Is I'm sure that he came into camp and took a look around and said, "Oh, this is a different squad. Like, I really got to show them that I'm still. If I want CB1 money, if I want CB2 reps, whatever the case may be, he's got to come and show out." And I'm more over the moon about how good it sounds like Cisse is performing. That to me, it makes me so excited that I can't even explain it to you. St. Juste, I'm very excited for. I think that he will be a really, really good player for this team in whatever capacity, but I really, really like the fact that Cisse came out with his hair on fire.
Mike Spofford with a tweet: blitz just outside of the red zone forces a tough throw in traffic, and Nixon almost picks it back of the end zone. Then he just misses another INT at the goal line on a ball for Golden. So a little more context, a little more detail, if you will, on the Keyshawn Nixon pass breakups there. So that's got you up to date with everything that's going on in practice so far. As 11 on 11 seem to be underway and whatnot. We'll continue to hit refresh and see if we got any other information popping here for the Packers news feed. Now, it is worth mentioning a little bit of breaking news. I'm assuming it's breaking news, but Pro Football Talk tweeted out 16 minutes ago, Vikings signed cornerback Jared Washington. So the Minnesota Vikings just signed a cornerback to their roster. I want to say it's a younger guy. Why do I feel like we've covered him in the draft the last couple of years or something, Jacob? Jared.
Who?
Doesn't matter. He's wearing purple. He's going to suck anyways, right?
Yeah, screw that guy. That's fine. The Vikings secondary, that's one of their biggest bleeding areas. So they were kind of in the same boat as we were last year. They had to do some revamping. So maybe, who knows? Yeah, he could be good.
Yeah, definitely. And then Wes Hawkowitz confirms 44 seconds ago, that's it for practice 4 after an hour and 40 minutes. So obviously there's going to be players available in the locker room and everything coming out of this. And, yeah, so that was fun, man. That went a lot better than our first stream, Jacob. And here's what's awesome, guys. If you're watching right now, do me a favor, hit like, hit subscribe, click the bell icon. Tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel, we're going to be doing this again. Some of y'all got to go to work tomorrow on Monday, all right? You can hide in the cubicle, baby. You can get you might call in slick. You might get the bubble guts and have to go to the bathroom for about an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes, as a matter of fact, right, Jacob? Sometimes it happens.
Sometimes you got to keep the headphone. If you have to wear a headset, like a desk job, just throw a little earbud inside there. You know what I mean? It's great. Not saying that we're telling you to do that, but you should do that.
I'm absolutely telling you to do that. Man. It's football season. You kidding me? It's football season. Guys, if you're watching too, the best way to support what we do here at PTA, just join our Patreon community, patreon.com/Packer Fan Total Access. We're going to be doing a giveaway, a Luke Musgrave autograph card. Jacob, please remind me tonight, okay? I'm going to get the giveaway set up. We're going to be putting everybody who's in the Patreon group on the wheel, spinning it, whoever's name it lands on, we're going to give an autographed rookie card of Luke Musgrave. Tomorrow we'll mail it right to your doorstep if the needle lands on your name. So anything else you want to hit before we get ready to wrap up, Jake?
We could clean up a couple comments real quick, and then we can get you out of here. Let's see. Wolfpack was saying CV's time might be dwindling. I don't like. It just feels like there's so much competition that it's one of those years where if you miss any kind of time, people just start kind of climbing up the ranks on you, and then you got to fight your way back to get that much more of an opportunity. But I've always liked CV. I really think that he has all the tools. He just needs to put it together consistently. I don't know, Clay, you being a Kentucky boy, what do you think about the CV's chances here?
Yeah, when you say
we got to worry about the injury, but that'd be the biggest, right?
Yeah, when you say dwindling, it kind of depends on what you mean, Wolfpack, right? Like, to me, I always try to put things into perspective of where was a player drafted and how much money is he making? And that's where my expectations go for said player, right? It doesn't mean that you can't find a Tremont Williams, right? It just ends up being a Packer Hall of Famer, by the way. Shout out to Tremont. Congratulations on that. It doesn't mean you can't find somebody like that, or even a Sam Shields, right? But when you say, his time is dwindling, I do get the vibe that he's not going to be a starting corner this year. I feel like, it's early. Like Jacob said, it's really early in the process, but it does kind of feel like it's going to be Brandon Cisse or Benjamin St. Juste opposite of Keyshawn Nixon, barring any injuries. Now, as we've seen in the past, Carrington Valentine continue to work. Listen, he was not a bad cover corner last year, but as people were saying in the chat, the inability to tackle against the run, it did become a liability. Now, you don't want your cornerback to be known for the run defense. You want him to be known, all right, he's a shutdown corner first and foremost, right? And I wouldn't call him a shutdown corner, nowhere near that, but I don't think he's a bad cover corner. The run defense was tough. Now, Brandon Cisse, you turn on the college tape, that boy was playing some run defense. Like he would put his nose in there. I feel I'm kind of Jekyll and Hyde with that though, Jacob, because I hear that and I go, hell yeah, get in there and stop the run off the corner. And I also think, well, if he gets hurt like Ja did, it's just tough, man. It's a tough line to kind of wander along there.
I think that's what made guys like Charles Woodson so amazing, because he was able to play both sides, of that Jekyll and Hyde so well for so long. It's very rare that you get a corner that's that good in coverage, that can play safety, that can play it pretty much anywhere you put him in the secondary, and then he'll come up and he'll shed a block, literally dive, make a shoestring tackle and do it consistently. Like, it's not just a flash in the pan. So they don't make those guys very often. But if there was a person that we got a few of them on this team, man, with Bull, with Evan, and now with Cisse, those are the types of players that I feel like are able to do that kind of thing. And that's not putting it, I'm not trying to say the degree on a Charles Woodson level. My Lord, if they were even a 1/4 of a Charles Woodson, I would take that all day of the week. One other comment I really liked was Carter Hawkins. He said, and we forget about this sometimes, I believe, when we're talking about that rotation in the edge room. He goes, I think Edge Cooper is going to help a lot with pass rush thanks to the Zaire Franklin signing. Mentioned so many different times that Gannon can use him as such a different type of chess piece now in that pass rush, whether it be a delayed blitz or ever sneaking up on the line. And I don't know what your thoughts, if you want to add anything to that, Clay. But
yeah, I mean, if you look at everything that was reported in OTAs and minicamp, they were putting Edgerrin Cooper on the edge, no pun intended, in a 5-man front, which are what we refer to as penny looks under Jonathan Gannon's defense. And Zaire Franklin is the only stack backer. So that's suggesting you're going to bring a 5-man rush. That's one piece of information. Another thing that we not only heard in OTAs and minicamp, but we heard in training camp already too, is there was a couple of reps where they had 3 edge defenders in rushing the quarterback, meaning they took one big boy defensive tackle out and they had LVN, Barryn Sorrell, and I think it might have been Brenton Cox Jr. out there rushing the quarterback. So when that happens, that's another aspect that could come into play with the penny look, or maybe that's just that exotic 4-man front you want to bring in an obvious passing situation. So LVM was another one that kicked inside. If I didn't mention his name, I can't remember if I did. So those are the 2 things that stick out to me, that along with Javon Bullard saying that Jonathan Gannon's got a lot of crazy looks. My mind immediately goes to, are they going to have Bull in the slot covering deep and buzzing both safeties into the box from time to time? I think that's a way you can show a little bit of a hybrid aspect of Jonathan Gannon and what he wants to do, because if you're going to show pre-snap shell, that's why we always talk about the 4 things that's most important for a quarterback is accuracy, quick release, pre-snap read, post-snap read. Right? The pre-snap read is you come to the line, okay, where's the boundary safety in conjunction with the Sam backer, right? That's going to give me a lot of information on how to read this out pre-snap. Doesn't mean that's what they're running. Ball snap, where's the rotation? Know where the answer is pre-snap with the information you allocated. And then post-snap, where does your side adjustment go as soon as you see the strong safety who's playing spur drop to deep middle field close? All those things kind of come into play there. So it's going to be fun to see how this defense evolves under Gannon.
Yeah. Joe Trev with the last super chat, it looks like here. Thanks, buddy. He says water covers 70% of the earth. Charles Woodson covers the rest.
Man, Woodson was, what a blessing to watch him play, man. God, it was so awesome. And a great dude, too. I love that he came to Green Bay pissed off, tried to get kicked off the team because he didn't want to be here. And it was either Mike McCarthy or Ted Thompson said that he talked to his agent like, hey, and his agent literally said, Charles wants to be a Green Bay Packer. He just doesn't know it yet. That's what his agent said. And then you look back, and it's like one of the all-time great Green Bay Packers. And he ended up being the heart and soul of that Super Bowl champion team. So it's absolutely awesome. And again, it's why you shouldn't give up on people too early, right?
That's a good point.
And because he did get kicked out of practice. People forget that. It was one of his first practices. McCarthy ran his ass off the field to get out of here. So pretty wild, man. You know, Ted Thompson's like, Mike, I just wrote that boy a check, man. Calm down. So it's thin threads that kind of shape everything in the league. But on top of that, it's why when you see these fights, when you see an argument within the team and you see, drama explode, us fans, we react like, oh, this is a big deal. The media blows it way out of proportion. You hear the players and coaches talk about it. It's like, yeah, man, this happens all the time. There's always, if y'all seen half the stuff that happens behind the scenes, y'all would really be freaked out, right? Because you're talking about very, very strong, very, very fast, very, very, I say egotistical in a positive way. You've got to have an ego to play at that level, right? You got to believe in yourself, and nobody's better than you. That's why we need to give Keyshawn a little bit of grace, myself especially, because everybody in that locker room plays with a certain level of ego. But you got to have that chip on your shoulder, man, to perform. I mean, without that chip, Tom Brady ain't Tom Brady. I promise you that. He goes down as arguably the best quarterback in the history of the league. So maybe not the best, most talented, but the best in terms of, trophies. Go ahead, Jake.
Yeah. To your point of seeing these fights and crazy stuff break out, did you see that scene in Pittsburgh where there was a fight? There was a fight in the stands, and they were actually like one of the players came up and had some very choice words. Where there's a lot of kids around and everything. Like it was it makes you kind of be really thankful that, you know, we got guys out there riding bikes and Micah taking pictures with family and kids. And all of a sudden you can look across the league and you got people starting fist fights in the stands with kids around getting because of over autographs.
Unbelievable, man. Look, we'll give you a little taste of it. I'll keep it
for this. That he said Pat Frymuth literally comes in and scolded a lot of these people in there.
Yeah, you can see him getting in right there. See him grab that kid, Pat Frymuth did. Like, well, you bunch of idiots. What's wrong with you guys? Look at this grown-ass man wearing a helmet.
Right.
Yeah, tell me you're single without telling me you're single. You know what I'm saying? You out there wearing a helmet in practice? What are we doing here? What are we doing? I just pissed some people off. I apologize. There's probably some people going, I'm wearing a helmet watching this show, Clayton. Calm down. So, yeah, but yeah, that's the video that Jacob was referring to. And shout out to Colin Dunlap. He showed the video. But Pat Frymuth's like, boy, I need to say, it did seem like it calmed down when Pat walked over.
Oh, you should hear the stuff he was saying to him. He made them sound like they were children. He's like, but he didn't talk like there was children there. I tell you that. He was letting him. He was letting him have it.
Absolutely. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us. If you would do me a big favor, smash that like button, hit subscribe on the way out. We'll be back live again tomorrow, same time. It'll be 10:20 a.m. Central Time, and we'll be giving you all the training camp coverage just like we did today. So can't thank you all enough for supporting the channel. We picked up a bunch of subs today. We're on our way to 10,000 subs. Matter of fact, the live update, we are now 55 subs away from 10 grand. Ooh. So we're going to continue to march towards that. So if you would, keep an eye out on everything going on and let us know if there's anything you'd like us to cover. Let us cover different or what have you. And we look forward to getting in here and talking training camp with y'all tomorrow. So for Jacob, I'm Clayton. This is PTA. We will see you guys possibly later this evening. We'll see if any news breaks, any information comes out on Carrington or anything else in between. If not, we'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a great day. Go Pack, go.
There we go. We out.
Bye, guys.